Okay. So, hello everyone. This is Sharon Lapu-Lapu, and I would like to say thank you to all my subscribers and thank you everyone to support my channel. And today's live stream is a celebration with my subscriber, friends, and guests. I am celebrating being monetized on YouTube, and I invite all my friends who made it happen. Campbell's channel and Sir Paul the Philippine Antique channel, and Sir Fred, and I would like to say thank you all to Sir Calvin Roach, Sunshine Shoulders panel. I invite him also, but he could not come because of his schedule. Is I think he is busy, but I would like to say thank you to him. Okay, here is it. The Philippine Antique Channel.
Hi, how
Welcome.
are
Hello.
Hi,
you?
Hi.
I'm good.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mm. Thank you for
Morning.
all of you who coming on my live stream celebration, and I would like also to
You're live.
recognize to Ralph of the Please Right Act channel, and he is my inspiration for my Please Act Right video, and he has advised me in my latest improvement and technology to advance my channel. Please watch his channel. And like what I said, I have some wine here,
Hi,
but
OG Fred.
yeah,
Hi, Fred.
Hi, Fred. Hey,
Hey, how's
Paul.
it going?
Hi.
Hey, you see, I'm
Hi.
celebrating too. You see what I got
There
here?
you
yes.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, Canada Dry. That's like gold
dang.
here.
But this is not wine who drunk me. It's a sparkling wine.
You know that ain't right, Fred.
Right?
That stuff's like
Congratulations.
$1.50 a can here.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. So
what
let's
they
Oh,
say.
get
fuck.
started
Cheers.
by
Mm.
asking my guests and friends to say hello and tell us about what's going on their respective channel and any additional comments they wish to add. This is an open celebration to subscriber or viewers are free to ask any question about me. No restriction, but be nice. You can ask as well. You can ask yes as well. And if there are not any many subscriber, my guests, and I will entertain you with a subject of choice in the Philippines arena of life and survival. So I am introduce first the Philippine Antique channel, my idol couple. Please update us.
And congratulations.
Congratulations,
So
Sharon.
we're so happy for you. We really are. We've been really excited.
Okay.
George.
And Sir Paul, the entertainment. Sir Paul, you want to sing a song for us, or you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, come on.
No. You can do it.
Okay, and last, okay,
Come
sir.
show me the
You can
money.
introduce yourself, sir, or you can sing or dance.
No pressure. No pressure. I would just like to say congratulations to Sharon for having a monetized channel, and you
Thank
deserve to be
you.
monetized. You're doing a great job. So thank you for your channel and for inviting me on with Philippine Antics. I follow their videos. I've watched many of their videos, and they're very entertaining, much more entertaining than me, I would imagine. And OG, I shall have to follow your channel. I haven't actually had time to check out, but I will do. So, yeah. So, what do you want to ask? Do you want us to ask you, or will you ask us questions, Sean?
Yes, you can ask me questions, sir, or our subscriber can, my viewers and subscriber, they can ask comments. What is their comments? They can ask you, and then me also, all of us, they can ask all of us in the panel.
I
Yeah.
wanted to say
So,
I just want to say real quick. We have invited a bunch of our people to come today. So I already see that we have Tim in the house. So I'm really happy. We put an announcement for your show last night. So we're really excited.
yeah, thank you, mom and sir. I really appreciate that you come. Okay, and Last but not the least is OJ Fred, Sir Fred. Okay, the coolest guy and the young guy who is Mr. Guam and Mr. Philippines. Hi, Sir Fred. How are you and what's going on?
I'm doing fine and everything
Mm.
else. Paul, I don't have my own channel. I'm on the panel with Sunshine Shoulders.
All right.
Sharon's on the same panel. So anytime Sharon wants me to come on to her show, her blog, I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah.
And you guys, Philippine Antics, are my hero. Actually, I'll be there in Angeles City next month for
Oh,
about
Okay,
awesome.
yeah, we'll meet up
1
for
week.
sure.
And the reason I want to meet up with you guys, I actually got the guy that's coming over, Dana Militant. He hasn't been there since 1988. So he's going to be
Wow.
retiring. So he's going to travel different places in the Philippines to see where he want to settle. And the other guy, he already lives there. He's in Cavite, Cornelius Mack. So he's coming down. So we definitely did meet up with you guys because he's looking to see whether he's going to stay in Cavite or whether he wants to live in Angeles because he's military retired just like I am. And people seem to get the wrong impression about Angeles. You know, they're going back to the days when you had all the nice spots, but Angeles, it's a good place to live. Okay, I don't live in Angeles myself. We actually live in Coppice Tarlac, is where our house
Oh,
is at
okay.
when we're
Okay.
there. So, you know, we're close by.
Yeah, a lot of people they think that Angel City is strictly just the bars
Yes.
and that's it. And when I was in Florida and George talked about it, because he went to college here and everything, I was like, well, I don't know about that. If that's all that is bars over there. And when I
Right.
got here, um, it's a whole different reality. It's actually a nice place. There's tons of malls, a lot of
Sure.
new restaurants, and then there are other cities surrounding. Like we're in, I'll say Mabalacat.
Well,
So we're on the outskirts.
yeah, YouTube gives a bad impression. It's kind of like a lot of expats think that Angeles City is all made of walking street.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
not. It's like really small, but there's a lot of beautiful hotels. Then you got
Yes.
Clark itself, which is really nice, and then all the surrounding areas. There's a lot of nice places here. Hmm.
Okay. I think nobody asking question. So I would like to say thank you to Key Dallas for the super chat. Okay. And Mom Heidi answered George. You install your Christmas tree decoration.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Hey, check it out.
Christmas.
We have all the cat stockings up, and then that's
Yeah.
ours up
These
there.
are cat stockings. They all have their names on them.
Well,
It's-
since nobody asked any question, what made you decide to move to the Philippines, George and Heidi? What prompted that
us.
decision? Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, George was born and raised here. He went to the United States a few years. He lived in California, lived in Florida. He had his own cleaning business. And soon as the pandemic hit, with it being a cleaning business, you understand that nobody wanted you in the house. Employees started to quit. And it was a successful cleaning business in Florida. So
Mhm.
we kind of took that opportunity to sell and then use my disability. So he has an income currently because he runs Mendoza Film Productions here. He does a lot of media. And then my disability for Social Security. So I was like, let's just scatter and come here. And so we went to Mexico because the Billig buy-in program for the husband and wife to come over here was closed down.
Oh,
And
okay.
so we went to Mexico for 6 months and then we came on over. So it's because it's the area is from, it's way cheaper than the United States. In my book, it's way safer than the United States right now. It's not what we were saying, that it's just not a rat race anymore. So it was like always keeping up with what do you say, the Joneses,
Yeah,
or people
well-
next door with new vehicles and new clothing. And it just got really, I don't know, unreal. Yeah. So it was a change, but the pandemic pushed us. So, but this is where George is from. So it's,
Yeah, my family's
Pampanga.
over here. Yes.
Pampanga.
yeah. Angel
Yeah.
City, went to college here and everything.
Yeah.
So, and we were thinking about staying in Mexico, but at least George is a Filipino citizen.
Yeah.
And so we didn't both want to be foreigners in Mexico. Plus our immigration was a little tougher. and along with other things of living in Mexico that kind of comes along with it. So at least George knows the area, and so that's why we're here, is because there's family in this area. Plus, it's one of the safer areas, and I do like Clark Medical Center, the big hospital being down there, and so we feel safe that way. So.
Okay, and Sir Paul, how long you been stay here in the Philippines, and how's your experience living in the Philippines?
I don't actually stay in the Philippines just now. I am in Scotland, so it's almost three o'clock, 3 a.m. in the morning here. So if I fall
wow.
asleep, you'll know why. But
hey, Paul, what part of Scotland are you from? Are you near Edinburgh?
I'm through in Glasgow, which is about 45 miles from Edinburgh.
Okay, I know. Yeah, I've been to England, and I had an ex-fiance that was in the HMS on one of the ships. And so years ago, but that's about where his family was from, and I was supposed to go live there. So I've been to London a few times, but never did make it over there. I kind of broke off the engagement when he asked me to stay with his mother. So he wanted me to stay out on a farm while he was out on a ship, and he still had years to go. And I was like, yeah, I'll pass. No, beautiful place.
Paul's kind of funny. You remind me of a wrestler, Drew McIntyre, who has the same accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does.
Something I heard you talking, but that's who I thought it was at first.
Change your name.
I think going back to 2000, I think it was 2006, I first went to the Philippines. But before I went to the Philippines, I went to Thailand, then Mexico. I was just kind of looking at different places, looking to the future. And I was online, Yahoo. Does anyone remember Yahoo? Are you guys too young? Yahoo dating. So I met a Filipina, and she was from Leyte, and a place called Baliran Island, and they spoke Waray Waray. So that was the first time I went to the Philippines. I spent a month there in the barrio, living amongst the people, going down to the river, doing the washing, and absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I returned the following year, and the second year I went to Cebu, looked at different Lapu, same name as Sharon, Lapu Lapu.
Lapu.
Yeah. If you look at Lapu Lapu, the name's actually Paul mixed up. I just thought I would mention that.
Okay.
So something happened. I also still have a cleaning business, but cleaning carpets, Chinese rugs, sofas, etc. So in 2008, I planned to return to the Philippines, but because of the credit crunch, if you remember, the economy collapsed. Yeah. So I lost everything, and I had to start all over again. So cut a long story short, I returned to Negros Oriental in May and June of this year. And that is me get the bug again to go back to the Philippines. So I hope to retire and live there. So I'll be returning to, I think, Cebu in December of this year. So that's kind of my story up to date.
And Sir Paul, the ancient family of my his husband is from Scotland, the MacGregor. Because my husband, my husband is a member of the pipe band. He is playing pipe band, and then they are wearing skirt, skirt. Yeah.
Come on,
don't say skirt. It's a kilt. Kilt.
Yeah, I like to see Paul in the kilt.
No. Honestly, you don't.
You wouldn't want to see me either.
Yeah, because sometimes my husband wearing that skirt, and then
the kilt.
Yeah, the kilt. Yes, the kilt. And then I don't know, because I was not in Belgium when he passed away. I don't know where his daughter put his pipe. I don't know, pipe music.
Bagpipes.
Yeah, bagpipe. Yes, I don't know where is it now, because that's what I wish to keep it. It's his memory. And then Yeah, the first, I mean, when he was alive, he always often told to me that if ever I will die, I would like you to put my ash on the river of Scotland because he really loves Scotland.
Ah, so his
Mm.
name is McGregor. Surname is McGregor. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
his name is Philip Roger Hector Covely McGregor. Covely Hector McGregor. He's something like a name McGregor from Mac yeah, McGregor family.
McGregor is a clan in Scotland. We have
Mm,
clans like Campbell's, McDonald's, McGregor's.
mm,
So he must have had a kilt with his tartan. McGregor
yes.
has a certain pattern. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
Mm. Because sometimes he went to a party and then they are wearing all together the kilt, something like that. And then sometimes he make me joke, you know, Sharon, when we wearing kilt, and then I told her why. And then when we wearing the kilt, we don't wear underwear.
True story.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
I
wearing
told
any
him,
now.
"Is it true?" And then he said, "Yeah, it's true. Most of us didn't wear underwear when we were wearing our um
Very
kilt."
true.
And then I said, "Okay," because I think Scotland is a very nice place.
Yes, Scotland is a very beautiful place. It has
Mm.
beautiful scenery. It's in similar ways like the Philippines, but we don't have the nice weather that the Philippines have. And that's the very thing that made me want to return to the
Restaurant
Philippines.
or
The
the
beautiful weather
hotel?
Oh,
After
and
that?
the
So what? Kitty
Mabait
Palace,
people, the nice people.
that we went to.
Okay.
Kokomo.
Yeah.
Anybody send any question? Okay, there
Um,
is one.
well, I
Hello
was.
there. Okay.
We were just sitting there discussing that the owner of Kokomo that we know, he's
Mhm.
from Scotland.
Oh,
So
Ah,
okay.
the city on
ah.
Walking Street, he is. So I insulted him. Usually, I'm pretty good with like accents and everything. Where did I say something about? I said, "What are you from Ireland or something?" Because he only said a few words. Well, his accent is really fading out, so he sounded almost British. But like when
He
George
did.
would
He sounded
listen to
British.
him,
Yes.
when George was talking to him, he was speaking really fast too. And when I said that, then that's when he said he was. That's what I. Yeah. So I actually said he was from Ireland. He was really
Yeah, we
offended.
had an hour-long interview with him, but he requested not to have it published. So
Yeah. So he's pretty private. But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Okay, there is somebody asked question for me. Hello there, vivacious young lady. Are you still waiting for your king? Thanks again for your generosity. Yes, exactly. True. I am still waiting of my king, but on the right time. For the moment, not yet.
Me
Even
too.
my daughter
me
now is
too.
independent. No, not yet.
You're just a prince or a princess.
What?
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 I like your Christmas decor, and I think
I
today or
know.
tomorrow we
Trying
will
to.
also decorate mine here at home.
There you go.
Oh, and the kittens are getting really big, Sharon. The kitties, because we put a video on Facebook yesterday, and George brought him in here because he was cleaning. Because we have like an oversized cage with the new kittens,
Mhm.
and they're climbing up like Spider-Man. They're now hanging on the top bars. They're out of control. So we took photos of them here yesterday. So, but George is going to put them out in the garage.
And Sir Fred, when I was made an interview with you, David sent message to me in Facebook, and then he asked me if you answer what he was asking you about hospitality and Guam.
Yes, I
Yes.
did. And actually, I'm in contact with him because I text him from time to time. So I plan to meet up with him when I'm there also, him and Rose. And I told a lot of my friends, that you're going to be on air today. So I was hoping they would come on and, start asking some questions. Don't be shy, guys, ask away. Don't wait till we're
Yeah, and
off the air to ask the questions. Ask them now. We're here.
yes, I don't know why they ask, why they didn't ask. I mean, why they don't want to ask question or write any question. And
Yeah.
at 8 p.m. here in the Philippines, I will be in a Filipina Pete channel. She will make an interview with me.
Oh, okay.
That is
Aw,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
great.
nice.
great.
Yeah.
That's good to hear
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
That is really great.
But
How
I'm
was? Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, Fred. I was going to ask her how Manila went.
Okay, Manila, it's very nice. I didn't regret. And then I was shocked, Mom Heidi, because when I was in the hotel, I made a video, but I don't have, my intention is only making a video for me to have a video content on my YouTube. And then suddenly the receptionist asked me, Mom, are you vlogging? And then I told to them, yes. And then suddenly there was a woman came back close to me and then she told to me, Mom, we will upgrade your room into a suite room. I was shocked.
Oh
What?
Wow.
wow.
I
Wow.
was shocking. I thought to myself,
Wow.
what? I can't afford to pay the suite room. And then the woman said that, no, Mom, it's okay. No charge. You don't pay anything cost. It's free for you. We upgrade your room into a suite room. And then I said, okay, thank you. I was amazed. I was really really thank you
That's
because
awesome.
suite
That's
room is a
awesome.
very, yeah, very nice room. And then I spent nice time in Manila for 9 years. I was very afraid when I was on the plane, when the plane was shaking. I thought to myself, oh my god, perhaps it's
Turbulence,
the time
yes.
for me to die, because we passed in a very
Yes.
cloudy and then the plane was shaking. And then I was very afraid to ride an airplane because for 9 years, imagine 9 years that I never travel or ride an airplane. And then when I was in Manila last 2013, me and my husband just only stay in a very simple hotel. But when I went back to last week, I stay in the BGC. BGC is a very nice place. I thought to myself, okay, I will go back here. I will bring my daughter here so that she can experience also a ride airplane. But not, I think not, my plan is December, but I changed my mind because December is very crowded. I saw also quite a lot of foreign people in BGC, but sometimes I don't want to walk somewhere because most of the people there are very rich. And then me, I don't want to be, oh my god, I am not level on them, on their average
No.
level, I cannot
No,
reach.
no, that
No,
has
I
nothing to do
get
with it. You know.
no, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see we
Okay,
got a
sir.
question here from James Franklin.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sir Fred, James Franklin asked, Fred, how is the VE and Guam?
It sucks. Don't bother to come here. You can't get appointments. It's very
Oh
difficult to
wow.
get in there. And I actually went over there personally on my own. And I didn't see anybody around. The parking lot wasn't filled. I went inside because I was trying to re-enroll in the VA again. They told me they were already overbooked. I had to go see a provider out in town. So I said, heck with it. Since I'm a military retiree, I can be seen in the military healthcare facility. So I just left it alone. But don't bother coming here trying to get care in the VA. We only got a little small clinic. If you really need major care, if the VA would pay for you to go to Hawaii, just go on up to Hawaii and be seen.
Yeah, it's closer.
Okay, and there is another one, sir, from Carl Anderson. Asked Fred about snakes and Guam. I was looking and visiting in 2023. I heard about them as a piece. Thanks.
I've been here since 1992, and I've seen very few. And when I did see them, I mean, they have more back then than what we got now, and they've been very good at uh, getting the brown tree snakes. People was under the myth you get off the plane, there's snakes all over the ground. No, 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 that's not true. Same myth you hear about Angeles City, same myth they were saying about Guam, except this was about snakes. So I can say the whole time I've been here, I'd be lucky if I saw 10.
Oh wow.
Fred, are you married to a Filipina?
Yes, I am. She's actually from Kapas, Tarlac. She's
Okay, that's
Pampangan,
Yeah, yeah.
and I've been married to her. We're coming up on 34 years we've been married.
Oh wow.
I met her when I was stationed at Clark.
okay.
I'm an old guy, so I mean, I was stationed in Thailand, couple of tours, Korea, and 3 in Clark. That's my whole military career. Went back to the States for 1 year military, 2 years civilian. Supposed to move back to the Philippines. They have Mount Pinatubo, and so I didn't have a plan B. And my best friend, we've been friends all the way back to '77 from my days on Clark. He was here on Guam. He said, move out here, a lot of opportunities. And here I am, was it 20, 30 something years later, still here. The plan is to go to the Philippines, but my wife is, of course, younger than me, so she still want to work for us. So she's still got a couple more years before she can fully retire.
Yeah. Hey, Sir Fred, how's the Medicare there?
No
How
problem.
was you?
Because I'm on
Yeah.
Medicare, and with me is what Medicare doesn't pay for, like my military stuff picks up for. So there's no expenses out of my pocket, except where my wife goes in, and I got a little deductible. But Medicare is great here. All the facilities take it, so there's no problem with that.
Yeah, so I was always wondering because we've heard people using it and even taking the flights over there to set it up, but I was
Yeah.
pretty sure that it was pretty easy to use depending on the facilities and everything. So,
Oh yeah. Well, we got the Guam Regional Medical Center. That's the sister to the Clark Regional Medical Center, and I did some physical therapy, and that was my first time going there, and they were great. I mean, physical therapists and all that. So, and in fact, Naval Hospital usually refer a lot of people out to that particular hospital. It's a private hospital, of course, but it's real nice.
that's good. That's good.
Okay,
Good to
there
hear
is
that. Good to hear that.
somebody. Okay, there is somebody asking. I think Mom Heidi answered. George can answer this. I am living in Negros City, Davao del Sur area. How can I get my left behind item in US to here? So I think he have something to I mean he has things left behind in US, and then he want to bring here to the Philippines. But I think you and Ma'am Heidi and Sir Judge can answer this because they were living before in US and
Well,
can
yeah, hopefully Tim can actually have a family member. The best thing is for them to send a Billy buy-in boxes. He can ship a couple of them depending on what he's got left. But we sent a bunch of them. There is a limitation, although we sent 10. But you can do that, Tim, or use like a shipping crate.
Shipping container, yes.
Now, the shipping container, if he has a lot of stuff, would be optional, but understand it's anywhere between 12,000 US on up to 20, depending on, and it could be more if he gets
On the shipping,
one.
but remember, a shipping container is a shipping container. You can
Right.
put your whole house in there.
But once it gets to Manila, the main port, he's got to get it from there wherever he's going.
Right,
So
and then
all
you have
the
to pay
items,
port fees if applicable, depending on the shipping company.
and depending on what he's shipping. So
Correct.
there's the two options. It's probably best to have family members sell off most everything, because in my mind, before I came here, I didn't think that I could find things easily. I don't know why I was thinking it was all jungle here. And so, no, I'm serious. I thought we'd be dangerous city, and it would be like Mexico. Once you left the hub, there's nothing on the outskirts. So I had a hard time finding things in Mexico. So in my mind, I was kind of thinking it was like Florida, the whole, like the Philippines was one teeny, because I'd been to Surigao twice, but I was there for short periods and vacation. A lot different when you live here. So I was in a smancy area the first few times I've been here. Well, we shipped a bunch of stuff, but we shipped like is it 110? The types of plugs.
Yes, 110 volt.
Right. So I shipped like 8, 9, 10 appliances here, and we filled up a bunch of boxes and shipped a bunch of things. And it turns out you either have to buy adapters, and like our blenders and the things we bought are more powerful. So we needed more bigger converters, which I don't know, some of them run $200 here for the powerful ones we needed. So if I should have just bought the appliances here. There's a Robinson's Mall. It's got the appliances in it, Marquee. So the appliances is everywhere. And I found it easier just to order online. So like we use Shopee and we use Lazada, and most everything in our house, including our refrigerator, was shipped through Lazada, and it's nice. It's really a nice refrigerator. So Tim, it depends on if it's just super personal stuff, send 3 or 4 boxes and have your family. It runs about $100 US each. So they should be able to, and if anything, if it's a friend you trust, then give him a little money to help you out, or just ask him if he's a good friend. So money always greases the wheel. But
well, technically, if he's going to leave the stuff behind, he can inherit the stuff behind. That's payment.
Yeah, he could. Somebody could actually just do the
I
shipping for
mean,
the
for
leftover
instance,
items.
like a 6-inch TV, unless you're
Couch.
buying a shipping container, you can't get that.
Right. So just yeah, let the people say, hey, if you just pack everything up, keep everything else
Right.
situation, he could get it done that way. But I'm pretty sure he has family back there. So
Right.
yep. So that'd be the easiest way. But leave most everything behind. We did.
Yeah.
We both had two large suitcases when we arrived. We were 10 days in quarantine, which sucked out the butt because he was in one room and I was in the other room. I didn't mind being away from George for a while. The problem was they made me pay for it. And
Yeah.
what was it? They were charging us for a pack of that instant coffee. It was something. It was like 50 cents or
Yeah.
something.
Well, not.
U.S. Yes, it was because it
No,
was
it's $1, not 50 cents. It's $1.
right. That's a lot of money.
That's a
That was
dollar.
it. Yeah. So they made us pay for both the rooms, and like 3 days after we get out, then they go and announce that now families can stay together because if it was a family with a husband, wife, and kids, he could keep two or something, and she would have to keep two, and they would separate them, but they couldn't just put like it was a mess when we got here. It's been like 14, 15 months that we've been here, and George had not been back in a few years, but it's still cool, but yeah, we
Yeah,
learned them.
and I'm pretty sure even OG Fred would testify that he pretty much had to leave behind most of your stuff. Correct?
Well, actually, we did. I only shipped 4 boxes from U-Haul, and that's all we had because I didn't need that stuff. I figured I could buy it when I'm here because we're moving to a new place, and that stuff is replaceable. You know,
It is. That's what I was
you
gonna
know,
say is that I
yeah,
didn't think if I'd have just came to Angeles City prior, like I said, I'd already been to the Philippines, so I figured I was
right.
good to come. But it had been years. But I didn't realize how much was in Angel City. I was still thinking that it was a very small hole in the wall, which it is, but
Oh
it isn't.
no,
There's
you
tons
know,
and tons of businesses, Fred. It's
yeah.
it's amazing how much, like we were just discussing. I was asking George, how many chicken shops are here within a block? You said 9, 10.
I can't even count.
It's good for me. So yeah, it's really great, and most things can be replaced. And we left like 75% of our stuff back in the U.S.
And for
and
instance, our main AC unit, literally all I had to do was walk across the street.
he
Yeah.
did like the very first one. Well, actually, we had the little
No, second
one.
one. That's the second one. The
Right,
main
we
one
had
wasn't strong enough.
right. We have a little one that's in our other bedroom. It's like a portable AC unit.
Yeah.
And George was like, "It's like that's just not working." Like I was dying from the heat when I first got here. I mean, I still like give him a hard time about the heat. I blame him, and then, and I do. And George went across the street and he brought back another one. When I first got here, Sharon, I was running 2 portable ACs trying to cool down my living room because I was like, "Where's my central air?" And I said, "I can't live without this. And why can't this house be central AC? And what's really going on here?" And I'm just kind of going around, and I'm just like
Yeah.
pouring buckets, Sharon, like my hair
Mm.
was soaked and my clothes were sticking to me. And I lived in Florida, and still, it's a different type of heat. Like I tell people,
Hashtag expat problems.
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
true because
Sharon,
Yes,
can
sir.
I ask you a question? Because we're
Okay.
celebrating your monetization, channel being monetized today. So, can I ask you why and how did you start your YouTube channel?
Okay, I start my YouTube channel last July, and then I was invited, and I mean, on the first time I only had 7 subscriber or 11 subscriber, and then I was in Sir Calvin's panel, and then my subscriber grow more and more, and then I interview David and Rose, and my couple idol, Philippine Antique Channel, and also Sir Fred. They helped me to make my YouTube channel grow. Without them, I cannot grow my channel. So
Good,
that's why the
good.
reason I really thank to them, and I really appreciate to the people who helping me.
Sharon,
Oh,
what was what
it's
why did you
Brian.
start a YouTube channel? What was the reason did you
Okay.
start?
Okay. I start my YouTube channel because I really would like to help some foreign people. not to be scam, and give them also an ideas what is the attitude of Filipina woman. I mean, not all the Filipina women are scammers, but there are. But I would like them to open their eyes and wake up their mind that you must not go. I mean, I would like them not to go in a bad woman. I would like them to go in a bad, I mean, in a good woman, who the woman who are always there forever in their life, no matter what happened. That's what I create, because me, I'm on myself, I already see what happened in my environment, and I know some Filipino woman who made already a scam to the foreign people. Especially, I had a friend of mine, I mean, she made scam to um a foreign guy. That's why last night we spoke, me and Filipina P, and then we spoke about Filipina woman who made scam, and then I told to P, yeah, what their technique to scam so much guy, because there is a woman circle that they scam 2 or 3 men. So they were chatting 2 or 3 men, and then that all the 3 guys send them money, and then I told to P, yeah, what, I don't know what their aura to make that guy send money to them. And then after, when the guy send money to them, they spend together with their friends or hang out, going out, drinking beer. And then me, I told to myself, no, I don't want to I don't want that there will be another foreign guy who will be a victim of the scammer Filipina woman. I didn't say all the Filipina woman, but there are Filipina woman who did it just only for benefits the money of the foreign guy. And then they didn't know how the foreign guy worked hard to earn that money. And then some foreign guy sold everything what they have in United States for to come here. And then when they came here, the Filipino woman only took all this money, and then after bye-bye. That's why when I was on the Belgian embassy, when as the legal capacity of my husband, with me and my husband together, when we were in Belgian embassy, the examiner or the interviewer told to me, you know, we already know that Filipino woman only needs the money of the foreign guy, because before I went there, before me and my husband went there, there was an a Belgian guy with a Filipino woman went there also for to ask legal capacity. But the interviewer said, the when I saw the woman, I doubts that she only needs the money of the Belgian guy. And then I asked the final question to the Belgian guy, are you sure to marry this woman? But the Belgian guy answered, yes, I am sure. But after 2 weeks or 1 month since they got married, the Belgian guy came back to the Belgian embassy, cried because the Filipino woman took all his money, and then after bye-bye. So that's why the reason I create my YouTube channel, just to help foreign guy not to be a victim of scammers Filipina.
Yep, that's good, Sharon. That's interesting to understand and know why you did come up with the channel. And I notice also that you have a network of good people round about you, like Philippine Antics, George and Heidi, and Sir Fred and Calvin. And I follow, you know, Calvin as well. Sunshine Shoulders. Also, before I reached your channel or George and Heidi, there was a group of YouTubers like Filipina P, Ging's Adventures, I think, Geo in the Philippines, Old Dog New Tricks, Mark Thornton. He done an interview with me when I went to Dumaguete. So that was my first point of contact about a niche group of YouTube creators like yourselves telling guys to watch what you're doing, beware, you know, take all the necessary steps before you're hoodwinked. And but I think it's important to have connections, and it's strange how you invited me on, and then like guys like Philippine Antics and Calvin, it just everything seems to come together, you know.
But you know, one of the things I always notice, like most of the YouTubers were in San Carlos City, Dumaguete, somewhere else. So it's always nice when I see YouTubers that's in my part of the world because a lot of people live out in these different areas, Dumaguete, San Carlos, Lapu. They got a negative, what they think negative about Angeles, but I'm not sure I remember watching any of the YouTubers there because you got Philly in the Philippines. He walks all over the place. He talks about stuff. I watch him. I watch you guys. Focus on Asia. He takes you to all the different restaurants.
He does. He really does.
He does. And right now, I think they're in Singapore and other
Yeah.
places. In contact with them. So it's nice to see what Luzon has.
Yep.
Manila, Angeles City. When you go further north. But most of the bloggers I was running into, they're all from your neck of the woods, Sharon, and, which is nice to know what goes on there. But nobody, and then I hear them talk about Angeles, but they usually never say anything nice. So if you've never been there, if you've never really lived there, because if you go to Angeles City, I think one of the guys sent a message saying that he spent, what do you say, he spent about, what he said, about 20,000 pesos he was spending in one night. And I'm trying to figure out where the heck are you at that you spend that much money, okay? Well, if you're going to hang down in the bar areas, yeah, you're going to spend that, okay? So you're going to say, oh, I got to leave Angeles City because it's not a nice place. Did you go any place?
Right.
Or was that your home? Right down there on the walking street. Of course you're going to spend that kind of money, okay?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely true. There's a lot more to Angeles City, and we always tell people that's why George does a lot of walkabout videos, or we show like the mall or when we're in different places.
Sure.
But the there are certain sides that some vloggers will show, and then they're negative about it, or they're only show certain things about it. But that's why, like for Sharon's like keeping it real. That's why we've been watching Sunshine Shoulders for a while now. So I'd probably say at least 2 years, 2.5 years. And you just have to keep being true to yourself, Sharon. And that's what you do. That's, that's my girl. That's my girl. So we like her channel. She's growing quickly. And, anyways, I'm getting emotional here, so I don't want to cry. But we're really proud of you, Sharon. We really are. We're watching our little girl grow up.
Yes.
I actually got a question for Paul. Do you have your own YouTube channel?
Yes. It's a Paul T channel. It's kind of comedy, singing, dancing.
Okay.
Some of it's a little bit of Visayan and Tagalog comedy, but I'll be honest, I'm not very good at the language, so a lot of it's kind of scripted. But away before getting back, maybe almost just before the start of the pandemic, I started the YouTube channel, but it was called Carpet Cleaning Guy. And I would do tutorials and show people how to clean rugs, sofas, different items, tricks of the trade.
Right.
Because that's what I do for a living. I'm self-employed. And I would joke now and again and laugh and maybe sing a song while I'm cleaning. And a lot of the Filipino audience says, can you sing? Can you dance for us? And so eventually they convinced me to do live streams and all that kind of comedy stuff. And I left the carpet cleaning stuff behind. But I still have, there's a how to remove red wine. That's one of my, how do you call it, best viewing videos. And it earns me a small income. So I've still kept that aside. But now I just mainly do singing, the odd live stream. When I was in Dumaguete, every day I would do a live stream. And I was visiting a place called Sibulan in a barrio called Bolok in Dumaguete. And the trike driver who was with me, he kind of befriended me. He was like almost like my translator, trike driver, safety guide, if you like. So we would visit someone with a child who maybe had polio or some illness or they required help. We would interview them, and Rolando, he would translate for me. We would give them some money at the end of the video to say thank you. But I noticed that on the live stream, some YouTubers would give super chats. So I promised the money that was made from the super chat would go to the people to help the next person in the next video. So I'd done that for a wee bit in Dumaguete, and possibly when I return to Cebu, might do the same thing again. Just depends how things go. But I quite enjoy doing the comedy and the singing and the dancing, because that's kind of my personality. I'm not a very serious guy and sits down with people and does an in-depth interview. That's for other people who are probably better at it than me. So that's kind of how the way things panned out and started.
So, Philippine Antics, how did you start? What made you decide to have a YouTube video?
Well, this was like as the pandemic had actually started, soon as we knew we were going to the Philippines, we went ahead and started the channel. So we wanted to show some of our life. So we kind of went into doing restaurants and things in Florida as we were getting ready. Then when we were in Mexico, we did a bunch of things in Mexico. But then I started to do expat help. So I kind of did like the how to get there updates on traveling. I did a lot of travel updates, and I kind of did things like that. And then once we got here, we kind of just talked about ourselves, but it was just basically, it turned out to be like a part-time thing. We really weren't sure like our direction, but it was more like,
basically it was originally a personal family vlog. However, as we traveled, we noticed that we were getting difficulties in getting certain places, aka Mexico or whatnot. So so that's what Heidi says. You know what? People need help. They need help. Because most of the time, again, I can't stress this over on any channel. You can Google all you want. Google is not 100% accurate, and especially in the Philippines, most of the things you Google in the Philippines are inaccurate, and therefore that's when we start to like kind of like step in, and then we're like, so
yeah, we started saying that like in Mexico, that we were just gonna keep it real, because the reality is like I said, I had been on a beautiful island at a fancy resort, and that was it. So I really didn't know the other side of being in the Philippines, and George didn't talk a whole bunch about it when we first got together. And then I get here, and after watching a bunch of YouTube channels, it really was sugar coated. I was like, oh my God, and they didn't talk about, like reality things like.
Yeah, reality is different. And again, this started actually in Mexico. I personally called several Philippine embassies in Mexico, and they literally had different facts. Okay, as according to them, their facts are different as our requirements. And I'm like, wait a minute, this embassy said something completely different from what this other embassy said.
Right, during the pandemic. Yeah, because we were coming over, I was coming on the Bilikbayan, and George was just coming with his Filipino passport. And they told us we probably could have came about a month or two earlier. They were still saying it was closed. And in fact, no, the Bilikbayan program had reopened. But as you know, in the Philippines, you could go to different offices, and there are going to be different facts at different offices here. And, so it's kind of like the YouTube channels too. So they kind of get my perspective as a Western Philippine expat. We currently have 20% women, which is really high for being the Philippines, because most of the guys coming here retiring are just individual single guys. I would probably say 7 out of 10 people coming here, maybe even 8 out of 10 are men. They're coming here to marry someone. They're coming here to fully retire. They're coming here to work. Now, of course, you have the workforce that goes to Makati and everything, but in general, we were a little different. Now, there are other expat females here that are here from like America and a few other places, but they're really younger. Like I noticed 1 or 2 of them recently that's been around our channels, but they've got like 3, 4 kids, and they both are, so they're at a different age. And a lot of them plan to go back to the U.S. afterwards. They're not long term. And so they're all probably definitely under 40. So I figured with me being 51 and then George, being 96, that we could get that perspective of retirement, that it's possible. And we've been hearing lately from channels outside of our group, Sharon, where they were George is going to be doing a video here this week in regards to it, but we're still hearing unrealistic expectations on like prices and stuff.
On
like
budgets.
Yeah, like a
Mm.
guy living in a major city on $40 a week for groceries for 4 people, and that includes his housekeeper. And I'm like, yeah, that's not. And he's saying he can eat everything he wants, and I'm like, yeah, that's
Nah,
the same with this
Mm.
$40 electric bill and an air conditioner at nighttime. And I'm
what
like,
pipe is he
you know,
smoking?
Six bedroom house.
6 bedroom house.
Six bedroom house. He claims his
What
electricity is $40.
Huh?
what pipe is he smoking? I want to know. Is he
Exactly.
sniffing something you don't
Right?
know
So
about?
Exactly.
he must be hanging in Thailand right now or something.
No, but,
But
you know,
so we do
yeah,
get that, and
yeah,
our people do ask us. We get hundreds of emails, and now we're getting messages from Facebook, and we
right,
open up so people can contact us and everything. And we sometimes it's like we're like a dream killer. I feel like I'm opening up a dream
yeah,
killer hotline. We made like this T-shirt said "dream killer," but it's like a hello, yeah, no, the Sunshine
yeah.
Association's, yeah, that's a no, you know. So people have different, like I did. I really expected a whole different place when I arrived and didn't
Mhm.
realize there are things to adjust. You know, whoever you are when you get here, it's still the same. You know, whatever you're dealing with, but you just move into a different country and you'll eventually adapt. And also, we tell them that it's definitely better than living in a Western country, the UK. The prices, it's better than America because we're living under 1,500. Like our base bills are under 1,000 because the electricity just went up again by a peso. By the way, it went up. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it went up a peso per kilowatt. They just put it in Facebook, but that it's better than us working ourselves to death, or him, because he's working a lot of hours and I was doing stuff for him on the side. But for 1,500, we would just pay our rent in the United States right now. We couldn't own a car, we wouldn't have cell phones, forget the cable, and you would have nothing in the US, and we would be probably eating canned tuna and
Well,
pasta
actually,
all
it's
the
not
time.
even rent. If we were renting, that's not even enough.
No, not anymore. Our son's paying $2,000 a month right now in Clearwater, Florida. So we tell people that it's kind of like, I hate to tell it like that if they want to move to the Philippines, it's better than probably what they're doing now. Just expect this, and that, and like reality and everything, because there are some that don't even have savings, for like emergencies. But you have to think, do you want to pay your bills and not worry about them and have food? Or do you want to, starve to death, not pay your bills and be homeless, but have medical? So we get that people are trying to save up 20,000 US so they can come over and have their emergency funds. But, you do what you got to do too. So we know there are some people without a safety net, but it's better than starving in the US too, or wherever they're at. So.
Right. It's more kind of like what Sharon did in her recent video where she put up a sign like, hey, snakes ahead, be aware that this might happen to you. Unfortunately, in our channel, well, that's what we do. But a lot of people think that we're saying, no, don't come. No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying is this may happen to a few of you. And somehow people get that misconstrued.
Yes, and then there is Lisa Lee. Congratulations, Sharon. Thank you. Calvin interviewed an expat from the States that was sending a married woman at $600 a month. Any advice to help someone else to avoid that? Yes. What I'm gonna my advice is don't send so much money to your girlfriend or to your companion, because as long as you will send so much to your girlfriend, they will think that you are rich. In their mindset, they will say, "Oh, I'm gonna ask more for this guy because he sent me so much money every month." So that's the mindset on their mind. And then, for you to be sure, to all foreigners out there, for you to be sure that your girlfriend is single, you can ask to your girlfriend, okay, just get a Cinemar copy on the Philippine Statistic Office to prove that they are single. Because if they are married, it appear on the Cinemar that they are married. But if they are single, it appear there that no certificate, no marriage record in the Philippines. So better that you ask a Cinemar, because Filipino woman can get a Cinemar anytime anytime they want, even if they don't want to get married, as long as they request a Sinomar, they can get it anytime for to prove that they are single before it's too late that you will get married and then you will know late that she is married with a Filipino guy. So better that you ask or ask to your girlfriend to send a Sinomar copy from Philippine Statistic Office to prove that they are single, because if they are married, it appear on the Sinomar their marriage that they are married because it's written there. And then um just ask them Sinomar from PSA, not local. Better that you ask national copy, because if
Right.
it's local, if you ask it in the local copy, there are some Filipino woman can fix it. They can pay something work. They can pay somebody to fix or to fake the copy. So better to ask you a Philippine Statistics Sinomar copy because it's original. That's
You
all. And
know,
don't send
yeah.
so much money. That's all.
Well, the problem on this particular, what she's asking about, I watched that particular interview, and well, the guy didn't know anything about getting that cinema or whatever you call it. And most foreigners are not going to know that, okay?
Mm,
Or, go through the American embassy. So he didn't know that. He didn't know the girl was married, okay? So he actually married her. That's why he was sending that much money, every month
mm,
to the Philippines, take care of her needs and all that. And then he found out through a family member because he kept trying to get her to come back to the States. And she always had some type of excuse, I need this, I need that, whatever it was. And he found out that she was married through a cousin or uh, a member of the family, and that's how he found out. And so I like to, he's very bold to come uh, forth and tell his story, because
it,
we all, you always hear about bad stories like that, but most people don't talk about it. You know,
Right. Happens a lot more and they
right,
don't come
right. So,
forward.
so man, like I said, a lot of you go over there, you get married, you don't know. When I was there, because I was in the military, we actually had to get permission to marry. They had to do a background check on my wife and everything else, before we even get married. Making sure, and then they even questioned her to make sure it wasn't a fake marriage. More or less, I'm
Right.
marrying to get to the States, I make some money on it, to make sure she knew everything about me. And even when you have these long distance relationships, my advice always is don't send any money at all. I don't care if she becomes your girlfriend while you're online. Get to know her first. Okay.
Sharon, I've got a good solution to the ex-cop's problem. Is you start sending the $600 to me.
Right.
What what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish shortly because
Faulty.
here
mm,
it's 3:30 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So I'll only have about 2 hours sleep. So I'll give a quick song
mm,
just to finish. And
okay.
because you're drinking a glass of red wine, I may have a special song for you. So just hulat hulat.
Okay. Hulat, hulat.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna
Awesome.
huwat huwat.
Okay, let's see. 2 seconds, guys.
Drink some coffee, get the voice pipes loose. So.
Right. There you
Yeah.
go. Warm it up.
Whiskey. Tuba.
Oh,
Tuba.
okay. Got it.
And on Peter Tuba.
Gargle some Jack.
Okay. Can you hear the music, guys?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, let's see. Restart. 3, 2, 1. I'm praying for rain in California, so the grapes can grow and they can make more wine. While I'm sitting in a honky in Chicago with a broken heart and a woman on my mind. I'm asked the man behind the bar for the jukebox, and the music takes me back to Tennessee. And they'll ask, who's the fool in the corner crying? I said, little old wine, drink of me. Feel free to join in, guys.
Yeah, it's nicer.
Raise your glass, Sean.
Mm. Cheers.
I came here last week from down in Nashville, and 'cause my baby left for Florida on a train. Well, I thought I'd get a job and just forget her. But in Chicago, a broken heart is still the same. I matched the man behind the bar for the jukebox, 'cause the music takes me back to Tennessee. And they'll ask, who's the fool in the corner crying? I said, little old wine, drink of me. I said, a little old wine, drink of me. Cheers, Sean. Congratulations on your
Thank you,
monetization.
sir. Thank you.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
good voice.
next week Paul will do it in a kilt.
Yes.
That is really great. We just
No, that's really good. That's
subscribed.
really good,
I'm
Paul.
glad.
Good
I'm
job.
glad
That's
George
good.
called it a kilt and not a dress. Thank you, or a skirt. Okay, amping per me, Ingad Lagi. Take care, guys.
Okay.
And
Take care.
Okay.
Thank
Take
you,
care, Paul.
sir.
nice
Bye.
to meet
Thank
you.
you so
That was
Bye.
excellent. That
much.
was excellent. Thank
Bye.
you, Paul.
Thank you.
Mm.
See you, Paul. So, the part I'm
Wow.
finding kind of interesting is usually you always hear about foreigners married to Filipino women. Now we got the reverse. Here we got a Filipino married to a foreign woman.
Foreigner, yes.
Yeah, foreigner. So have you guys had any
Yeah, I know. I
difficulties?
married a foreigner.
You do. I
Have you
forget
guys
that I'm
had?
the foreigner.
Well, wait,
I keep
the part was
reminding her.
the part was kind of interesting when I married my wife and then we finally moved here to Guam. First thing people started saying, well, where did you get her at? You know, what do you mean, where did I get her at? I met her in the Philippines, I married her. So they always assumed that, because the basis was there that you couldn't meet nice ladies. Okay, you could if you wanted to, and that part never understood. And my wife would always get people straight because for some reason they look, if you're married to a Filipino, then you must have got out of the club. I'm sorry to say that, but
Right,
that was
that
the
is true.
mindset then, which is not really true. Okay. And even if she did, you would never know it anyway. It depends on what the guy does when he marries a woman. Do you put her through that? His wife worked in the club. You wouldn't know it. She would have got a degree and everything else. You would never know it unless she told you. And then what I was trying to tell people is the reason like a lot of girls are working there, most of them don't have the education. Family can't afford to send them to school. So you got to do what you need to do to survive.
That's
Okay. And it don't mean they're like doing that, but you shouldn't be looking down on them because of that. You know.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So have you
And
guys
so,
faced
George,
anything similar?
Yeah, a few times. We have had a few comments, which of course we blocked, where people have made the comment that he hit the jackpot. And actually, what people don't realize in the United States, I had already been retired. So basically, my dad had a big house, and I lived in the mother-in-law quarter for like 10 years, just minding my
Yeah.
business. I'd go see family, but George was the one with several cars, a business, a 2-story house, tons of money in the bank. So, when people don't know your actual business, then they try to get into your business and social media.
Right.
But we've already accepted that we already put ourselves out there and we're not going away anytime soon. So
Right.
I dealt with a lot of celebrities at Home Shopping Network. So I knew like Lionel Richie, George Michael. I knew Wolfgang Puck. I knew a lot of big celebrities, Sylvester Stallone. And these people
Right.
are on a personal basis. So if you'd go out, go to lunch or do something, then everybody was watching. And it felt like they were always watching me that it was really them. But now here in the Philippines, when we go out, I'm already a tall, big woman. So everybody's watching because I'm an American expat, but I'm an expat female. And then I'm big and fluffy. So you kind of forget that. But we've kind of put ourselves out there and we expect it. So if you're in the YouTube world, you know, people will say things, but a few of them have said that George hit the jackpot when actually it's the opposite, because he sold his business and then now he's still running the Mendoza Film Productions and he's earning money here from the YouTube channel. And, you know, it's not hitting the jackpot. I mean, we married each other because we love each other. We love each other. We fight like a normal couple. We love like a normal couple. And now I think we've always joked about George not being Filipino enough because he grew up around the base, and a bunch of his friends here have no accent either, but he was born and raised. And so sometimes we get accused that he's not Filipino, like maybe he was born in the US only and he doesn't know anything about the Philippines. But no, he went to college here. He speaks the language. He speaks Kapampangan, and so he speaks the regional language here. So it's we get a little bit of hate for that. I think people think that I'm made of infinite money. So we do get people that will either ask for money or they see us as money. So it becomes a problem, but we're not. I mean, but I guess in Filipinos' eyes, being we're considered middle to upper class as far as our income, then they do see us as rich. But we couldn't afford to go out all the time to eat. And there are things we'd like to buy, but we can't afford it on our level. So yes, we can pay our bills. Yes, we put food in the house. I mean, I like to have steak every day, but we're not that kind of rich here. So but that's what people think, is that, you know, we get a lot of people that want us to build a house. And I'm like, that's not our bag, you know?
It's probably the worst advice anybody can get. Build a house. It's like, no, don't. Even in the US, don't build a house.
You know, that's why I want the guys to come over, sit down and really talk to somebody. We always say boots on the ground. You guys got your boots on the ground. You know, you got the nitty gritty. You showing that you don't need a fortune, you know, to live there. Of course, if you want the nightlife every night, you know, you're gonna be broke. You know, you're gonna be homeless. You know, and what I try to tell people is a lot of things you can do there where it's not going to cost you a lot of money.
Right.
You know, I was watching one of the bloggers that was in the Philippines. Yeah, he did a night trip downtown Angeles. I didn't know they had restaurants on the sidewalks and stuff down there, but then it's been 3 years since I've been there, and it's a lot of changes. You know, I've noticed even at SM Clark. You know, Sharon, if you ever get the chance, try to get down to Angeles City. You know?
Yes, that's what my next.
And if you need a ticket, I'll help pay for it. Okay. Get down and see.
Thank you, sir.
Go down and see Philippine Antics. You know, get a chance. You know.
Yeah,
and
come see us. Definitely.
You know, where Sharon knows she's my girl, I try to look out for her. And then, you know, when we're on channels.
You can adapt me, sir.
Well, I probably could use a tax break because you know, I'm old enough for her to be my daughter.
Right.
You know, so I'm old enough.
Sharon's so tiny, we could just put her in the Christmas stocking next to
there's room.
You know, and Sharon, you know, you get a chance to go someplace else and see what life is like, you know, on another island, because Dumaguete, you know, the Cebu must have 50,000 bloggers up there. Have you guys ever noticed everybody that blogs seem to be from those areas? So that's why it's nice to see you guys have your own channel. I like saying that, you know, I'm saying an average couple, living an average life. Not like some of the people you see. You know.
Yeah, we're slow growing right now because we are a different channel, so we get not the hate. I got frustrated the other day, but it's different for us because we see some channels, and it's not hate. You'll see some channels that do no work at all. We're not talking about like anybody in particular. There are hundreds of vloggers in this area too, and there's a lot of Filipino vloggers.
Right. What she's saying is actually there's a lot of Philippine vloggers that do no work.
They cater to what we call the sexpat side, or they cater to just men for certain reasons. So now I'm the woman that they run from the United States. So basically, I'm the one that's the complainer, the one they're used to. I remind them of a lot of their ex-wives. So here I am giving advice to come here, and they're like, "Does George ever talk?" Well, yeah, he does. He's just super quiet. He's super reserved, but I'm super opinionated. George has good information. So I think for reasons of, our situation of me, married to a Filipino, we have a lot of Filipinos that are subscribed to us too. But I don't know. We're just slow growing right now, but we're happy because we know our subscribers are true subscribers. Because if you make certain videos, you'll see who will drop out. We try not to make too many shorts or certain ones because some will sign up for our funny ones, but they don't want to see our expat side or our personal life. So you'll see that they drop out. So most of the ones that we have are like real subscribers. So, as long as you keep it true, that's, you'll keep your subscribers.
Yeah, bottom line,
Yeah.
just
ahead.
be yourself, guys. Just be
Yeah,
yourself.
because and see, Sharon, that's some good advice for you. Continue to be who you are and never change.
Yes.
And that's why your following starting to grow because you're funny when we watch your show. You give me information, okay? You do your segment where you do your singing and all that. That you have people that you interview, and you're being you. And that's why I say about a lot of the bloggers that I see. How many times after if I get to a blog, even my wife won't watch it. First, they start off good. The next thing you know, you got to start seeing girly shows. You got to go down there. That's not why I was watching your channel. I don't need to see that. Okay, I've been there, done that. That's old news. And I kind of wish they kind of had YouTube back in the days, but all this stuff is new technology, and they didn't have this before. So there's so much information for people coming out to the Philippines where you don't get scammed, where you can be safe, where you can go and not go. But then you get some people there, they don't pay attention to anything that you say, won't take your advice, and off on their own. Then once they get in trouble, then they come running back to you for help.
Right.
Yes, that's why, Sir Fred, that I listened to Sir George about the BIR, sir. Yeah, about the BIR. That's why I send a message to my friend that if you will go to BIR, could you get me some information? What is the requirements for to apply the 1901? And then she told to me, okay, you need a OTR. And then I told her where I could get the OTR, and then she said, "Oh my God, Sharon, you will go to the city hall and get the OTR." And then I said, "I don't have work." And then she said, "That's why you get an OTR because it's an occupational tax receipt." And then I said, "Okay, I will go to the city hall." And then she told to me, "Okay, and then after you will have the OTR, you must go to the BIR at 5 in the morning because when you will go there late, you will
There's
be
a
in a
line.
You had
very
to go
long
there a few
queue."
times. Yeah,
And then I
there's a
told her, "Okay."
there's a couple stages. We sent you a couple good sites that break it down. But even when we read those and went directly to the BIR's website, it was a little different when George finalized all that paperwork. But it is important to complete that because the taxes, the government start coming down on vloggers now. So starting like last year, they put out a memorandum. I sent her the document. So the memorandum was put out about that. And it's not because you live in the Philippines. If you work in the Philippines, you pay taxes. Now, if you have pensions and Social Security, those taxes are paid back to the U.S. So you sometimes have to pay the dual tax, but you're not dual taxation at that point. So, but vlogging definitely is. It's a self-employed business here, and you do have to register. You even have to go through. George had to go through, and
All the paperwork's right there.
he had to get a DTI just to name the business. But on top of that, you had to.
Well, bottom line, actually, if you do it properly, the less you get taxed.
Right. So like in the end, if you do it like we're advising Sharon to do, you won't end up paying 40% tax because there's like a tax bracket that you get into. And then if you have a good tax man, then, which is inexpensive, it's like $20 a month here. If we had a personal guy in the US that came to our house, I'd be paying $200 for him to show up. So it's really inexpensive to hire in this guy. And, he takes care of his taxes and everything. But it's the right thing to do. So, but yeah, that way, because you do get haters, and the bigger you get and you get up there, we love the Filipina P. We know she gets a hard time. They're messing with our boy Calvin, which upset us. We contacted him a few times because the same trolls that were trolling him continued to troll us for a while.
Yeah.
And the exact same guy changed his name like 3 or 4 times, but we knew it was him because he used the same guys that were from that movie. So he was using
okay.
from a famous movie.
Yeah.
And so I was like, are you even kidding me? So he kept blocking. And right before he left, I sent a message to Calvin. And I said, this dude, by the way, is messing with us. So if you can use this and show it to them when you go in, I said, just let him know that this guy's not real and that he's also harassing us. So we gave him screenshots and everything. But just understand the bigger, even at low numbers like ours, that we're at 4,100. People started when we were at 300-400. So trolls are always going to be trolls. So they used to George has always like brushed them off. In the beginning, they got to me a little bit. And then I just realized, you ain't got time for the pain, man. So you just kind of set them on the back burner and just hide them. You don't have to block them, but just hide the users, and then they'll continue to type, but they don't know that they're not being seen. It's a YouTube trick. So, but no, just, the bigger you get, and that includes down to your taxes, then they start reporting you and trying to get you in trouble. And, they hate for one reason or the other. So.
I see some comments there. I'm sorry. I was looking at so many comments that the screen by so fast. Are you catching any of those, Sharon? Or are they just changing automatically?
Yes,
because you had Pumpkin Joe was there, Juan was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Where is that? Yeah, here.
We want to make sure we don't miss anybody. Okay.
Good morning, all. Fred making the rounds, I see.
What I'm waiting for, Pumpkin Joe's up in Dumaguete also. Have you ever watched his channel?
Yes.
Him and Mimi, sister had a new child. He hasn't done as much. Yeah, so his is always interesting, but I would love to have him invite me onto his place. I mean, his blog, but he doesn't do live streams like what we're doing now with people, actually. He does live streams, you can type in questions, but not like what we're doing now, like, us here as a group talking.
Okay.
So hello, Pumpkin Joe. And Juan said he's thanking me for looking out for you. So you're welcome, Juan. And then Will.
Well, I want to be chill and laid back like OG one day.
So you guys wonder why I'm so laid back? I'll tell you if you want to know. I don't have to work anymore.
There you go.
When, Sunshine Shoulders was telling one time, man, you ought to get your YouTube channel. That's work. Okay.
It is. We started out part-time and figured it would be like a vlog for our kids, and they would just see us here, and that we would just kind of fall into showing the beaches and the resorts. And then I was like, man, not only that, it costs a lot of money. People don't realize that stuff costs money, and then people request you to go here, and there. And what's wrong?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, you're just looking in on me. Then we just start showing what we were actually doing. And then George, when he edits a video, it takes a while. It could take you if you edit it like the ones that we just seen, the mall ones, we have 2 hours of footage that needs to be brought down to under 12 minutes. And then he cuts. And then you have to go back through it and watch it over and over again. And you'll hear Marcus, what's his channel? Overstay Row, where he talks about his editing here too.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he does much editing, but you still edit. You still have to upload. You have to add all the descriptions and tags. And, then he deals with emails. I deal with emails and messages. And, you got to keep the trolls down. It does turn into a full-time job. It really does. But at least we can do it at our pace. We've learned to take a day or two off, when to release videos. And it's been getting a little better as far as our time off. So
you guys always make sure, as a couple there, you always have that we time.
You have to, because there's a lot of couples that are doing it, and I'll eat my shorts if they don't fight all the time. There's another big one just recently that broke up, and we definitely feel it was contributed. They were up there in a lot of big views. Where were they at? 500,000? Yeah, take your ring off, George. But it's once you get up there, there's just decisions that's got to be made. What about the title?
Yeah.
What about the thumbnail? What do we leave this in?
Mhm.
Oh, you're working too long. George, come and eat dinner situation. He's still in there at 11 o'clock at night. Have you eaten thing? No. His lunch is still sitting there. I'm trying to bring him dinner, and he's like, well, I haven't finished that. I was like, well, you haven't eaten. So it gets to be a little bit of like stress, and we know that other channels feel that stress. And then as a single mother with your daughter, it
Mhm.
consumes some of your time. And then we realize that we're walking around with a camera all day.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
George, I was like, he's afraid of missing something, but we used
It never
to.
fails. It never fails. Like the one time I did not bring a camera with me, there's Mongrod carrying his grandson.
Right. So,
Point is, it's the
Right.
moment you stop rolling the camera, something interesting happens. Never
Yeah.
fails.
Right. And you never know if that's going to be the video that, makes your channel big or,
Mhm.
pertains to certain watchers. So that's why you can't always control your viewers, like who you're
Mhm.
bringing in. So whatever you put out is what viewers you're going to bring in. And we, in the beginning, were kind of all over the place. And then that's when we realized what people mainly were looking for. So you kind of stick to one, thing, then the viewers that are coming in and what you need to produce for them. But yeah, you always
Right.
carry a camera.
Well,
Yes.
that's what people like to see. I like watching, YouTube. I don't watch all the YouTube shows that's out there because some of it's a lot of nonsense. And, I want to see real people. That's why I like the Campbell channel. And if you notice
Yes,
how
we do
popular they
too.
become, and David and Rose have been falling out, and it's hilarious. What it
It's real
shows you
life.
is
Yeah.
just because you have falling out, there's no perfect marriage. Me and Lynn, we may
Right.
disagree about stuff too, but I don't call her names, I don't beat her up, I don't believe in any of that stuff. And
Right.
she'll get mad for a while, but she still prepares dinner. She don't have to, but she does. Okay,
Right.
then if I've done something stupid, which guys usually do, I apologize. Okay, I mean, in the story, I know. And that's why I'm glad you guys are there, Sharon. I'm glad that you're getting where you need to be because I can sit down, I can watch it, something I can watch with the wife, and we can enjoy it, and we can laugh at stuff.
Right.
Yes. Okay, Pumpkin Jones. I thought you only pay either the Philippines or your home country.
But
This
you're
is for
just
you
talking about
guys.
tax. This is about
Yeah.
tax. Now, okay, here's the thing, Pumpkin Joe's again. There's two ways you can do this. Unfortunately, Sharon technically only has one choice. Now, if you're an expat, if you're a YouTuber, you can either file for the US, but you will get a higher tax rate and all of that without
But
by law you're
if you're
supposed to.
here long term,
Right.
okay, we don't know if he lives 6 months in the U.S. or whatever. If he can live 6 months in the U.S. and he's there most of the time, then he would file taxes back there.
Right.
Like your account would still have to be set up for the U.S. You're using a U.S. address. But if they have filed immigration here and they're here long term and they're working here, then you owe money here. So you would have to file taxes here. And if you owe taxes back in the U.S. on your, your payments that are coming in, Social Security, railroad, police, retirement, you owe those taxes also back to the U.S. So you'd be filing two separate taxes. So, but no, you do not just you don't pay your home country only. If you're here long term, you're considered a resident of the Philippines. Then you would owe it. I believe it only takes a few months.
Yeah, and
Once you have that ACRI card and they think, and it doesn't say tourist on it and they're here as permanent residents, then they would owe the money here. So some file and they pay a lot more.
right, and that's a key word, resident. Now, resident does not necessarily mean a permanent or temporary resident. That also means if you're a tourist that extended their stay after 60 days, I believe,
Right.
you are
still owe
classified as
taxes
a
here.
resident. Right.
Mhm.
And now we're talking about legal terms here. Again, I'm not
We're not taxmen.
we're not taxmen, we're not the government. We're just telling you the rules that we're brought
Mhm.
down upon us. Okay.
And you don't want to pay that 30-40%. If you don't file correctly with them, they hit you at 40%. So that's a lot of taxes. I mean, they're already going to take 50% from the credit cards, 50%, on the stuff that they actually pay through here,
Mhm.
membership stickers, all that. But after that, when you get that filed paperwork that comes from Google AdSense, that's who pays you. Then you have to actually pay the taxes through the Philippines. Like George has a Filipino PayPal. Whatever comes in there after X amount of money that comes every year in a form, that form has to be filled with the Philippines. Even if they have one set up in the U.S. and it says PayPal U.S., you're still earning that money from PayPal from being long term in the Philippines. That's still a form of payment. It's still taxable. So, no, you work here, you pay here. Anybody, even if it's a U.S. call center. We heard the other day somebody was like, "Oh, I don't have to pay taxes because the call center that I work in Makati is owned by a U.S. company." And I'm like, "Yeah,
Mm.
no, you still owe the taxes there."
That would be again, if you guys want to compare apples to apples, that would be like me saying that when I worked in the US, I didn't have to pay the US taxes. No,
No, you have
I
you
had
live
to
in
pay
there and
US
you pay
taxes.
taxes.
I worked there, I lived there as a resident, so therefore I must pay Uncle Sam taxes, and I did it happily.
What
It's a
a lot of people don't realize, if you live here on Guam, you pay taxes on Guam. You don't pay U.S. taxes. Guam has its own tax
Oh, I
code.
did not know that.
Yeah, something in agreement. So I paid my taxes here. I had a situation where the U.S. came back and said I owed $36,000 in back taxes because I hadn't filed since 2011 or whatever it is. But I've been out here since 1992. So I had to go by the tax office. They did a letter. They pulled up all my tax years and they sent it in. And I was able to get my record clear, but I'm still waiting for them to send me the money that they took from me illegally. And I mean, they're quick to take it from you, but they're slow paying you back.
We did pretty good on that because they started doing that to George in February. They started
Yeah,
taking it through AdSense, and they take a lot till you get that taken care of, Sharon. So
yeah.
your first amounts that come in, once they get bigger and bigger, you'll see larger amounts come out. It. We just he reapplied, or I helped him reapply and tell them a bunch of other stuff besides being Philippines, and then they just paid him back. It took, I don't know, it took like two
Did we get
months.
that money already?
Yes, we did. I already spent it.
Oh,
I spent that.
show the
Okay.
package right there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, for
That's why
surprise.
George got up because
Well, that's for good
Gusty,
cause. That's Gussie.
yeah,
That's Gussie, the ball guy's
the
umbrella,
guy with
because
the bike that we bought
he
for
can't
our
work when
friend.
it's raining, so we had to get
Yeah.
him
We
a
got him an umbrella,
yeah.
Sharon.
We got
Oh, that's nice.
Yay!
yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice.
he's gonna stick it on his bike because he can't work and pick up bottles. So we're kind of excited. But yeah, so that's how it kind of works on the taxes. They'll get it back. They may start taking
Right.
it, Sharon, in the beginning, but when you start arranging it back to the Philippines, there is a tax treaty where the money and the amounts come out are a lot lower. So it is better, Pumpkin Joe. It's much better to file as the Philippines, even if you're a U.S. citizen. Whoever is the owner of the channel, that's how it works. They can't file taxes on both of us, and I don't make enough that they could do that. But if that is your account, and even if it says US, then he would need to go through what Sharon and me went through. You have to file to get a TIN number, and it's a little bit of work. So, being it was already George's channel, and it was always in his name through, it starts out on starts out on Google. Then you file with Google AdSense. All of that was always his. Everything on the account was his, even in Florida. So he's the one that filed. But yeah, he would have to go through a different stage. So.
Yeah.
So, Sir Fred, well, Satan, oh gee, I have 7 days of work left before I start my retirement. I feel good each day that goes by.
That's
Will, are you going to be retiring in the Philippines? If you are, where will you retire?
Okay. Pumpkin Jones, I have a close friend from US going to Thailand to meet his girlfriend. My wife said I can go to hang out with him, but I'm going to do the den of sin without my wife with me.
welcome. This is the Denison. Right, babe? Babe, that's here.
Okay. Thank you for the super chat, Sir Well.
Yeah, everybody gives Sharon a thumbs up. Share her channel,
Yeah.
Yes,
guys.
guys, share
Yes.
Congratulations,
this
Sharon.
live.
Congratulations.
Yes, and that's why, Sir George, I follow your instruction because I would like to be in a legal process because I don't want, yeah, I don't want to have problem with the BIR later on
Correct.
because like yeah, because when I purchased my house, my friend who is working in the lawyer office, she's a secretary, she told to me, Sharon, better that we didn't declare the all price of the house, which is the 1.550. And then she said, better that we made the deed of sale with only 1 million pesos. And then I told to her, no, because I don't want at the end I will regret because perhaps the BIR will make an investigation about the complete amount of my house, and then perhaps the tax that I will pay later on will be much more. And then I told to her, no,
Right.
I don't care if I will pay 172,000 pesos for the tax of my house. And then on the later on, when I will have problem, it's more than 172,000. No, I will do it in a good way and in a legal process way because I don't want to be in the trouble, especially on the BIR. No.
No, no, definitely.
No, yeah,
Mm.
do the right thing for
Yeah.
And
sure.
we're
And
following a few YouTubers that used to have really big giant YouTubers. I'm not going to mention their names, but big giant YouTubers in the Philippines,
due
and
to taxes, they had to
they're
shut
expat.
down.
There's also an expat channel too, and they have big giant houses, cars, and everything. And all of a sudden now they're living in a province. We believe they're hiding from the BIR
Well,
or
and
the
there,
DSWD.
right, and there's some that are actually they shut their own channels down. It was in the news because
Wow.
once they started that process, the back taxes were just too much, so they quickly shut the channels down. They're still going to owe the money. That doesn't stop that process, but when you get up there, I mean, which is a rare occurrence that somebody gets 1 million viewers or 5 million viewers, but they were a big channel here in the Philippines.
No, and it's overnight. They left their big screen TVs and their computers and everything. They're all no, literally all of a sudden
Wow.
they didn't explain anything. All of a sudden they're living literally in
They're way out in
the bare
nowhere.
brick walls and tin roof type housing, if you know what I mean,
Yeah,
versus
so where they were, so it was kind of a big change.
it's
So,
yeah, and that tells us there's something wrong, like seriously wrong.
yeah.
Well, even if I was a big time YouTuber there, I would still live the simple life. I don't need a 6 bedroom house,
Mm.
fancy cars and all that. To me, it seems like you become a target when you do that. I rather blend in with
Right,
everybody
that's
else. I mean, I don't wear jewelry anyway. A lot of stuff, and I don't dress fancy. The same way I dress here, I dress the same way over there. T-shirt, slacks, tennis shoes. If you want to wear flip flops, wear your flip flops.
right.
Blend in, be like everybody else. So
Yes.
you guys are in Mabalacat. Well, we say Mabalacat when I was there. So
Mabalacat.
yeah, yeah. Well, everybody pronounce it differently. You say Angeles City. Some people
Yeah.
say Angeles. But this is from a time when I was there. How we used to pronounce it. Dau, Dau,
So, yeah,
Dau. Yeah,
that's where we are.
yeah. So I'm familiar with all that area up through there. But it's been so many changes there. I
Yeah,
mean, since I was there 3 years ago, I might get lost once I
yeah.
get back there.
George said when he was a wee boy, probably about this big, he said that this was probably back when you were on the base. A lot of this was jungle or
Grassland, yeah.
Yeah,
grassland.
it was grassland. It was. It was like grassland.
Because
Because
all
I don't
I
know.
see
Yeah.
now is a ton of MacArthur Highway. I mean, we're like right on
No.
MacArthur, and it runs all over
Yeah.
the place. But there must be 1 million businesses on one side of the street alone. It's like business, 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 business. They're everywhere. So it's amazing. So he said it
You
used to
know.
be grassland.
Well, he's right because I was really surprised because we used to go out to Mount Riot, and it was like a tourist destination. When you went out through that way, there was nothing but rice fields. Now they tell me they got a town out there. San Fernando didn't exist.
Yeah.
If you went down to Subic, it took you over 2 hours to get down there because then they have the what's it, what they call SC Techs, you know, And then, I mean, it's really amazing how the Philippines have come a long way. Hey, guys, I heard a rumor, and I want to know if you can confirm it or not. I was reading somewhere where they're looking at the walking street in Angeles City, turning that into a family entertainment city. Did you guys
Yeah,
hear that?
it's
I don't
not
know
a
if that's true.
rumor.
Yeah.
It's not a rumor. They do have
Okay.
signs up, and we've heard that they're talking about it. But what's your opinion? You gave kind of an
It's
opinion
not
on
an
that.
opinion, it's a fact. Now here's how it goes again, and a lot of people say I don't know. I'm a fake Filipino. I'm from the U.S., but actually,
Oh,
That's
you
me. I
are?
learned this morning.
well,
That
no,
was me this morning.
but a lot of people don't realize I actually know more than most Filipinos know. And what I mean by that is, for instance, the walking street. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, okay, that's a good move." That's called what in political terms, which called a squeeze. And what that means is, again, I try not to talk too political here. The squeeze, and what I mean by that is, technically, the barkeepers and bar owners of Walking Street technically need to pay enough money to therefore keep their businesses in that street, so to speak.
Kind of
Okay.
like the Filipino mafia
Yeah, I
and the
understand.
mafia
Right,
still
and
exists
that's
here.
as far as I we should go.
I
Yeah.
think so. To keep your channel family friendly channel, we don't need to
Yeah,
go
because
into politics and all this
I
other
don't
Right,
want to
stuff.
be out there and have to fight.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I think
it's one thing. It's one thing that foreigners need to learn. Also, when you're there in the Philippines, people always criticize it. One thing I've learned by actually being there in other places is you got to have patience. If I'm gonna
Oh
go somewhere, I know it's gonna take me a while. I got a book I'm reading. I got something on my tablet. The same
yeah.
thing even applies here on Guam because we have a large Philippine community here, and you would think you was in Philippines number two, here
Huh.
on Guam, because all the service industry, most of your workers are Filipinos here. Most of the healthcare workers are Filipinos that's here on Guam. And this is the closest to the U.S. as you can get, and still be close to home.
Correct.
okay. It's
Yeah.
pumpkins Joe's. I think it's for Mom Heidi and Sir George. I am a
Yeah.
permanent resident in the Philippines, so I guess
To
I need to pony up here.
Yeah,
Yes,
pony
yes, you
up. You
do.
got to give
You have
up
to
the
pay your
money. So
taxes.
you
Yes.
do. It definitely and like I said, it doesn't make a difference if your money amount says 100 pesos, you have to file. As far as you're making any, it is considered self-employed. It does put you in a different bracket, but you still have to register that you own that YouTube channel, and they made him, produce a name and everything else because he even had to, the weirdest thing is they even made him produce receipts. Once you get a BIR and the category that they put the YouTubers under, he they called it also. We sent you a copy of his license, and
Mm.
it shows what he is, that he's a social media. But then they put online sales, and at that time he wasn't even selling. I'm assuming I guess they figured the
You are
PayPal and
forced
all
to
that.
get receipts.
So
Yeah.
they forced him to go print receipts before they process the application. So that is part of
Wow.
your application, Sharon. You have to produce receipts at a local printer. They'll give you a list of
Mhm.
stuff that's required for the entire thing. Yeah. So yep, you definitely have to pony up the money.
Okay, and Lisa Lee, Sharon, is elementary education fee? Are the school pretty good? Yes, elementary school here is free. It's a government school, and also on secondary school, it's free. But it's up to the parents if they want to bring their children to public school, it's for free, or to private school. And then government school now are teaching very nice. They are like in a private school, and most of the children now from private school, their parents move into a public school because public school or government school teach to the children quite well, especially
Mhm.
on reading. And then private school is very expensive. That's why when
Oh, I'm
I
blocking it.
bring my daughter to public school, there are some Filipino people said that no, your wife, I mean, your husband is a foreigner, but why you bring your daughter to a public school? And then I answered to them, it doesn't matter where school I bring to my daughter. If your children is not intelligent, even if you send them, your children, in any private school, it costs you more. That if your daughter is, or your children is not intelligent, they are not intelligent. But even if it's in the private public school, but the school teach well, it's very very nice, and then it's cost you less. Me, I pay my the daughter of the school, the school of my daughter is just only 400 pesos per year. That's all.
So
So
now that you got a YouTube channel, Sharon, are you going to put your daughter in private school and
no.
you probably have a chauffeur
Yeah, have a
drive to
limo.
take her to school? No, no, not
uh,
a limo. She
Got
don't
a
want to
big
be
black
too fancy.
van, the bodyguard.
mm,
Well, you probably get a nice trike. Get a nice trike that you
mm.
you fix up. Make it a luxury trike or something.
No, sir, because even my daughter, sir, she doesn't want to go on a private school, because I was trying when I transfer her from Mandawi City to, and then
Yeah.
my daughter is here. Hi. Hi.
There she
You,
is.
Yeah.
yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
When I
She's
move her in Lapu-Lapu City, I been trying to ask her, could you go to a private school? I would like you to move on a private school. And then what she answered to me, no mama, I don't want to go in a private school, because more of the students are very social, and then they are so very rich, and then I don't want to become like them. No, I just only a simple girl, she doesn't want.
Social.
Yeah,
yeah.
because she doesn't want to have a friend who is in a rich level of living. She would like to have a friend which is a simple children who are in a simple living. She doesn't want and then she doesn't want to buy expensive things. If she asks me, Mama, could you buy me something? And then I told her, okay, how much the price? And then she told to me 300 pesos. And then I told her, okay, if it's over 300 pesos, I will not buy. When we will check again, it's over 350. And then she said, no, we don't buy because it's over 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't want to go to private school. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It makes
See, Will.
sense.
Yeah.
See,
For
we got
those of you who are, yeah, what her daughter's trying to say, and just to translate it, I'm not talking about like actual translation. I'm trying to translate what her daughter is trying to give out when she said social. Social. The best way to explain social to most Westerners. Okay, you guys ever watch like these teen movies where they have cliques?
Mm,
Cliques is social, which means you have these groups, elite groups of girls that are like think that they're the thing, and they only
mm.
and then they're mean to other girls. That's what she's trying to avoid. I'm just clarifying
Yeah, she doesn't
what she
want to
meant by
be.
social. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay,
She just wants to be
Will
real.
Sutton. I am in fact looking at retiring in the Philippines. Exact location, PBD. I am making my second trip there in November.
To be
Well,
determined.
yeah. What I look at is Angelus, and you guys agree with me, has a large expat community. That's why it's
Yes.
as developed as it is. And it's a lot of good information to get there. They got the Retired Affairs Office. You can go to the VFW. Have you guys ever been at the VFW, by the
The
way?
VFW does exist. We haven't been there. They
Okay, the
also
food's
they also come
food's pretty
because of
good.
the hospitals too. There's a lot
Yeah,
of medical here they want to deal
sure.
with too.
Uh,
And it's a safer area as far as like typhoons hitting this
right.
area. And we had that earthquake that scared the crap out of me, but it's kind of like weather safe. Although it rains like it does everywhere else,
Yeah.
it's one of the safer areas to be in as far as weather.
Yeah, Clark Air Force Base is a proof it's a safe area because actually the U.S. Commission determined this is the safest area in the Philippines to build an Air Force base. Just to clarify to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And plus, we're surrounded by mountains there too.
Correct.
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 It makes it
That makes
safe
me.
for that
Oh,
reason.
so Heidi, I think we were talking about steak. So does that mean that you're throwing a challenge my way when we go by the VFW that I get you a nice steak dinner or lunch? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, you're on. You're on. Yeah, you're on. Yeah, because
Well, the
I
meat
figure when we meet
does
up,
taste
it's on
different, but I
me.
haven't had it from there.
Well, it's on me, and that's always a good place to meet up with the other two gentlemen I was talking about, and I thought we could do some lunch there, which would be great.
Okay, that'd probably be pretty cool. Yeah, most
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
so and I'm a
Do,
member of that VFW, so
do
that's
they?
my
Do you think
post.
they're importing their meat from the U.S. possibly?
It could be, because a lot of times we got Australian beef. Like my other favorite place to eat is the Queen's Hotel. Now they definitely got some
Yes.
good steaks there. If you've never eaten there before.
Yeah. No, we've known some people that have stayed there. We haven't eaten there, so as far as their
You know.
foods, but yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put that on the list too, because
yeah.
I mean their food there is outstanding. That's one of my favorite places I like to eat. And then there's another place down on the Navy base, Texas Joe's.
Oh, we've heard of Texas Joe's. Yeah, never been there. Because see, they just officially in May started letting people like we were literally locked
Yeah,
down till May. Like George would
yeah,
go out and do things.
right.
Um, and so it was kind of, and then when it opened up in May, things kind of got flooded in this area with like
Yeah,
the expats trying to all get here at once, and then it got busier and some. So it's just been different. So we're not like officially just getting out the last few
sure.
months, so we haven't really, yeah. So
Oh,
yes,
okay.
there's a
Okay.
Well,
lot of places.
that's good to know.
Okay. From one, does Manila have a good VE facility? I think.
Well, actually, I've used that facility before. It's okay, but it's not a hospital. So if you need any
No, it's not.
major medical stuff, all that there's, I call it a tune-up clinic. You just go there, make sure everything
Yes.
is okay. If you got any type of disability, they continue to see you, you know,
Do
and treat it.
they
But if it
do
gets
they
any worse
actually
than
give
that,
out medicine there? Somebody said
oh,
there was
yes, they
one
do.
vlogger. Okay, so you can go up there because it was a vlogger, and I won't say which one. I think she went up to pick up some like mental medication, like some psych meds for him and migraine medicine or something. The wife went up there to get them, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Some people
yeah,
have
yeah.
asked us, and I said I'm pretty sure I had heard that they did medicine.
Yeah, they did because I was kind of low because I'm diabetic, so I was able to get my
So that
medication right there because I
okay.
thought I brought it with me and I didn't, so they gave it to me while I was there. Gave me a 30-day
So
supply. So,
is Brian Philly in the Philippines? We met up with him to have that lunch with him. Is he also VA? I thought he was because he was talking about filling his medication at a pharmacy's, and I know he's diabetic. He talks about that all the time, and we've
uh,
seen where he had
I think
issues filling it.
if I'm not mistaken, he retired from the prison system. I think he
Yeah,
was
prison.
a
Okay,
prison
so
there,
he
so he
doesn't.
wasn't a VA. Yeah, I'm not sure if he did in
Okay,
the
I thought
military
he was
time because
military too at
yeah,
some point.
because he gets his medication, there in Angeles. That's where he gets
Yeah,
it
he
at.
does. Okay, so he's not
Yeah,
VA. Okay, so no, it's
yeah.
another vlogger that we knew.
Okay. From Ed
Uh,
Roach.
Oh wow.
Question for the panel. Do anyone think a U.S. military will open a base in the Philippines anytime soon?
hey, it's you guys. I don't know.
Okay, now,
Yeah, we will know. We don't know.
well, actually, OG Fred is probably qualified to answer this question. It's actually a matter of strategy. Now,
Yeah,
if you follow world wars and AKA strategy, key point is the Philippines is a strategic point in the Pacific. In order to hold and control the Pacific, you need a good refueling supply base, aka the Philippines. So therefore, the only time, unfortunately, here's the say I unfortunately, okay. The reason why I started with that is because for some strange reason, Filipinos are vehement about a U.S. base here in the Philippines, and that's one of the reasons that drove them off. So that being said, the only time the U.S. will start another base here is when there's another world
Major
war,
war.
technically. So that's the only time they would come over and take over the Philippine land in the Philippines again
yeah.
and defend it because it's a strategic point. But politically, it's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Well, they do their joint exercises there, so that's a good thing.
Yes,
I mean, they're
yes,
still
they do.
training
Yes.
together. in different areas of the
Right.
Philippines.
Yeah.
But
Filipino.
as far as the base there, like I said, that's got to do with politics, policies, whatever. So I don't go there, when you talk about that. So
Yeah. So it'd have to be another war.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. And for the again, I keep saying this because it's a matter of pride in the Philippines. Again, for those of you who aren't aware, the aggressor squadron
yeah,
was stationed in the Philippines, and OG Fred will attest to this. That they were assigned to Clark Air Base, and for those of you who don't know who aggressor squadron is, that's basically Top Gun.
you know, because I was there in the Philippines. When I went overseas for the third time. So um, I was overseas in my early 70s. I'm a Vietnam vet, so anyway, when I got to the Philippines in '76, I stayed overseas between the Philippines and Korea until
Oh wow.
1989 is when I went back to the States. And then I retired in 1990. Then 1992, I moved here on Guam because Mount Pinatubo, I couldn't go
He
there.
was here.
Yeah, I was
He
just
was
gonna
here.
Yeah,
say, I was
He was
asking,
here.
yeah.
he's there during the Pinatubo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
How
was already
was?
gone. I was already back in the States, but I was supposed to be going back because I was
Okay.
going to open up a business, a auto repair facility. But then when the mountain went up, I didn't have a plan B. And plan C happened to be my friend was here on Guam. And that's how I
Wow.
wind up out here. He said, a lot of opportunities. And then I went and told my boss, hey, I'm giving my 2 weeks notice. My wife didn't know till I got home. I told her we were leaving. And she said, when? In 2 weeks. She said, where we're going? We're going to Guam. And it's kind of funny because the father did construction out here back in the 50s for about 10 years because they built the first hospital, naval hospital we had here. And everybody thought he was always telling stories, but once he passed on, we found all of his paid stubs and everything else when he was here on Guam. So that's a coincidence. We're living here now.
Uh,
Okay, from Pumpkins John. I've got to set an appointment day to the U.S. Embassy Manila to get my kids recognized and for tax reason. And Philippine tax things won't affect that as well.
no,
Oh.
it won't affect that tax situation. But here's the thing: if they somehow find out, like that you're, I mean, I don't know what kind of income you're earning from the YouTube. Um, I don't think it would affect him going in and doing that, but they could. I mean, it's hard saying. I just make sure everything's squared up too.
Yeah, I don't think it'll affect you at all. To be honest with you.
But yeah, I mean, yeah,
Well, Pumpkin Joe's YouTube channel, if you guys ever watched it, he goes different places, he does stuff, but he don't get much of a following because most people tune in don't seem like they want to see that. But it seems like you
yeah. I
want
mean,
to see
I see
somebody
he's a
who's
smaller
got boots on the
channel,
ground
so
that live there, in the community to see what it's like.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
So yeah, I mean, if you're not making the ton of money from it, I mean, like I said, even our channel's X amount of money each month.
yeah,
They probably really wouldn't mess with us, but you never know. But yeah, if you have that smaller channel, I wouldn't worry
yeah.
about that. And yeah, and don't forget among that, if you don't already know, depending on the age of your children, and if you're collecting Social Security already, then he can collect for the kids. So he would
Well,
get
he's
an
too
additional.
young. He's too young.
Oh,
He's one of
okay.
those young guys out there. He's nowhere near that yet.
Well, I
So.
don't know if he's on disability or any of that. I'm just talking any sort of Social Security.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah. If he was getting,
Pump
if he had disability, he might, if you get disability, Social Security. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're from, yeah.
okay, Pumpkin Johns. You can get diabetic medicine by the box from any pharmacy here in the Philippines. Certain forms like metformin, I don't know about injectable forms.
Well, here's the part that's kind of interesting, and I'm going to talk about this briefly. When you decide that you're going to stay in the Philippines, permanently, first thing you need to be checking out is the area and what type of hospital do they have around you. If you got any type of medication you need to take, can you get it there?
Right.
And a lot of
Yeah.
guys, I hear guys say this. So I ask some of these guys sometimes, okay, you're living way out in the middle of nowhere, and you built your house there. Where are you living there? Well, this is where my wife is from. Well,
Yeah.
what about you? Okay, me as a expat and stuff like that. I couldn't live that way. And people say, well, with your wife, you're living here, but there's a city nearby. There's a hospital nearby. I'm not that far away. I'm not way out in the province somewhere where there's not the roads are not developed or anything like that. And because I know I got a medical needs, I need to be in a place where there's a good medical facility. And people don't think about that.
Right. I see he's talking about medication
Yeah.
mailed from the pharmacies. I know
Yeah.
you cannot have it shipped from outside. I know there are some pharmacies that claim they can ship here, and they do, but they could seize those boxes too. So if somebody sends your medication from the United States by FedEx and they find out what's in there, they can seize that. So medications coming in is illegal. Now, also, I'm curious about the medications. Like, I know I can get stuff here mailed from Watson's, but it's certain medications that they will. So I'm not sure how they do that. If that's what he's talking about, like through a place like Watson's, and then you provide your prescriptions and they can fill that. So, but outside, I know it's a problem.
Well, I'm thinking if he gets any type of VA disabilities or retiree, a lot of retirees, they can get medication through the online pharmacy that will ship to the Philippines. But then, like Retired Affairs Office, they actually got an APO, FPO address for overseas, so people get your medication through that way. It would be interesting. When I'm there, I need to ask one of the retirees that I know, how did they get their medication? Probably because they retired, they probably can use GMRC.
What I was looking up was saying that you couldn't have, medications like family members, like when they were talking about doing Billick buy-in boxes and shipping of items from the U.S., it said no medications could be brought, shipped in, but maybe there is a way like actual pharmacies that can actually do it or something too. So that I'm not sure.
And I'm saying that would be my thing, if you're gonna stay there, you got to make sure you got a good hospital. If you diabetic, you got to make sure you be able to get your medication and everything else. You guys are in an ideal location. People don't seem to realize that. How many hospitals we got there in Angeles?
Well, and even here, we're having a hard time getting medication. So we're in a city where there are several Watsons. George sometimes has to go to 3 different pharmacies, and then he'll only end up with 20 pills. Like one only has 4, one only has 5, and they have different brands every time. It'll be really hard to keep to the same one. So yes, we've advised people in our lives and like through videos that you come here, they're talking about checking out the best areas. It depends on your income, depends on what area you're going to, you let us know that. But then when you do come, visit a few times and actually check for those things. Can you get this medical? Can you get this medication? Are you going to need transport? Are you going to be living on the outside where you can't get any grabs or cabs or trikes? You got to know all of that. And it's important to be prepared because George had not been back in over how long? 20 years? How long were
30.
Over 20?
It's 30.
Okay, so it was over 20 years since he had been back here. And for me, like I said, I'd visited only a resort area. So, you kind of fly in, you take a cab, that's the end of it situation. And so it's all of those are important for sure. You're right on that, Fred.
Okay, from Ed Roach. I'm a retired Marine and I was stationed on Aki for over 11 years. I just checked the EMC website for Space A and there is a website open to KAB. Just checking.
That's Kadena Air Base is what he's saying, KAB. AMC is a where you can fly on military aircraft, Space A. If you retiree, and what it means is standby only. Military always going to have preference, and you're at the bottom of the list. That's what we used to have those flights out of here, and somebody was telling me they started them again from here into the Philippines. But I'm at that age now. I don't have no time to wait for Space A. I just get me a ticket and we can just go. Philippines are just so close.
Planes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what that is what he's talking about.
Okay, from Pumpkin Joe's Philippine Experience. I'm earning Carinderia income. I think for here in Lapu-Lapu, I am not so really sure in other places, but
basically he
here,
doesn't make more than the
Gotcha.
But here in Lapu-Lapu, even you have a little karinderya or something, you must register it to DTI
You still
on.
have to
Yes,
register.
yes.
I mean, you'll probably pay zero
You're going to pay
taxes.
zero, but
You'll
it
pay zero
says
taxes.
that's what it
Yeah.
said on the paper, that regardless of the income, you still have to register
But you still have to
and
file.
anything under 250,000
Yeah.
pesos a year, which is a couple $1,000s, you still have to register, but you don't have to pay taxes. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
but you
paying
still
zero
have
taxes.
to,
At that rate, you're paying zero taxes.
Yeah.
right.
You
So
know, the
just
part I always find it interesting is when we have, you guys see these stories all the time. People move there, think their money's going to last a long time, but you can't live in the Philippines unless you got some type of income coming in. You know,
yeah, we
you
tell
know,
people at least, some people are just coming on savings. We say, don't try it.
no,
Then we know some that have residual. We're okay with residual as
right,
long as it's enough for small emergencies, and understand that if you do have a big one and you end up in a hospital, they're going to want that payment financed somehow, put on a credit card. At least
yep,
bring a credit card that'll work long term, that has $5,000, $10,000 credit line. But watch, because those cards will die eventually if you don't use them every now and then just
yep,
pay it off or something. Keep you have those online, what's it called, where people have their mail sent, so they can have their statements, where you can either, like we get like a statement through the email, but you could
mhm,
still keep a US address, a US bank and everything, and use those online email boxes, the e-boxes. And it's so if you don't have the savings, at least have a credit card that you can take care of an emergency or
sure,
two, or a plane ticket if you have Medicare to get you back to Guam, because there's a big portion there on Social Security. So that's
yeah.
but understand what you're getting into for sure. So
So since you guys are living there, do you have any type of insurance plan, medical plan for
um
yourself?
okay, right now I'm just covered through Medicare. We have savings. We actually came with savings to cover George or me, like, if I
Right,
needed to go back to the US. I have a lot of
sure.
family there. And then you have, what's the Filipino? I just went off the top of my head.
Cape. No, Phil help.
Phil health.
Phil
The
help.
health.
Yeah, so what it is I had to actually file. I have memory issues. I had to file because if your wife or husband already has Phil health, then he would have kept his own, but he had not been home in
Right.
20 years. So
Okay.
what it is, it's really strange, is that I have to apply and then add him. So that's the rule. But it's really inexpensive. It's just a few hundred a year. It does go by the
Yeah.
income that you're bringing in, and then they
Yeah.
get your car. But it is only, I think, what's his name, said that it was only at 40%, 30%, depending on the hospitals. There are some better hospitals that will accept it, but remember, it is only 30% coverage. So they're
Yes.
still going to want their payment from you when you guys. It's no joke. Back in the days, they would have just held you, period, and you would have never got out of the hospital. People were crawling out of the windows. Situation. It's really that
That's
bad.
true.
It's not.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand. It's not the United States. That's why people take an aspirin and they just stay home, or they deal with
Yeah.
their own medical, or they use what are the people that do the home medicine?
Manghihilot.
Right. So they use the
Ah,
healers and things like that. So it's kind of like the wild, wild west. I tell people, if you're willing to deal with that, for some people it is better than the situations they're living in. A lot of people can't pay. It's not even like 2 years ago. There's a lot of people that can't pay the rent. They can't pay the
Yeah.
electric. It means they don't eat. So they're down to ramen noodles, and they're just, that's not good either. People that have high blood pressure and medical issues in the United
Yeah.
States, you can't live on ramen noodles and Kool-Aid, that's for sure. It'd be a nice try, but at least
Yeah.
here you can afford your bills if you choose the right place and watch your budget. It's all
Yeah.
doable. We recommend it 100%. So where other people be like, oh, don't come without 50,000, or it's this or that or this and that. It is a place to live that you can. It's still all doable. It's all doable.
okay. From its STEM question for the panel, I get SSDI disability. I am married to a Filipina with a 10-year-old son. Is there anything that I can do to secure him help like SS?
You can get a payment. Actually, you will double check. They said there's a possibility, even if he is not your son and he is under 18 and you're married, yes, he's still considered your legal son. You can apply. There are rules to that, but you would have to contact Social Security for sure.
Yeah,
You can call their
there's a lot of
800.
information. The other thing you can do also, if you're there in the Philippines, is just go to their website. It's all kind of information that's on it. When I originally applied for, 'cause the very thing he's talking
Yeah,
about, they actually have that answer on that website because I was reading a lot of that stuff.
We did a video on Social Security, Tim.
Yeah.
So I can actually send it to you through Facebook. So if you go, I'll send you the video, and inside the video, I gave a bunch of links, and it breaks down the requirements.
Hmm.
And then you just, all you can do is apply. But legally, yes, that's your son now, and you should be able to get a monthly benefit. It could be up to 50% of your Social Security. So that's really
Yeah.
a great thing. Get that money. That's what our video was about.
Yeah.
We're like, earn extra money in the Philippines.
Yeah. Yeah. Get that money.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, from Aunt Perry. What about other chronic
Oh,
illness like epilepsy,
that's
for
rough.
example? Is the Philippines capable of medically helping for those people? I think not. I
Um,
don't think so.
Here's the thing. Okay. You would really need, if you're just on simple Social Security disability and you're getting $1,400 a month, you're not going to be able to afford to live in the places that will give you the proper medication. Like
There you
I
go.
would want to be like nearby St. Luke's and
Yep.
Manila, and some of the places would be really expensive. Seizure medication is not readily available. I have a lot of medical conditions, and currently the strongest thing I can get right now is clonidine, and that's just an
Yeah.
anxiety medication to help with my muscle spasms. And then what's the other one that we are able to get on a regular basis?
Tramadol,
No, tramadol is one.
pregabalin.
Pregabalin, which actually helps with some of my muscle issues, and I need knee replacement. But as far as getting, like, they would consider epilepsy medicine, most of those medications are psychotic medications or things that help like calm you down, and that's just things that they don't use a lot here in the Philippines. They are available, but they're usually at bigger hospitals. And again, Manila being in the middle, Manila is a possibility, but you would have to really consider living, in the heart of Manila just to
Yeah.
get those medications. There's a lot of other issues, that go with living in that city. Like you'd have to have super patience. Like going anywhere could take an hour in a cab. Are you able to walk a bunch? Are you able to handle, with your epilepsy and chronic illnesses? The air quality is not the greatest in Manila. We even have bad air quality here in the Philippines that affects my breathing right now. It's a lot of things to think about. Can you do it? Yes, but I would visit a few times to determine that. We always tell people, even with those, the answer's not 100% no. Come here one time and see and check to see if they have your medications, because you can start by going to Watson's PH. It's an actual pharmacy, and inside there, they'll allow you to type your medications, whether it needs a prescription or not. And it'll actually, and they're a big pharmacy here, so they have like an SM and other places. It'll tell you if the medications are available, but the other ones you have to get them from the hospital.
Well, we recommend Watson's. We have no affiliation with them, but the reason why Watson's is because, again, I frequented all of the pharmacies, and for the most part, they have the better stock. AKA, they always
Quality.
they have quality
That's
and
true.
stock. Because most of the time,
Yep.
I go to other pharmacies, I even says, "Do you have pregabalin?" Nope. Like right away, they already know. But
So they're out. A lot of the pharmacies are out. Even they can be out of medication, and be prepared for that. You may only get 4 pills that'll last you 2 days, and then you're back out on the street again looking for the medication. So it's kind of important that you visit and find the areas. If you're going to go into Cebu, make sure that you're nearby places. But more than likely, those medications will be coming direct from a hospital, where you'd have to get like a public hospital. A lot of the psych meds and pain pills. So I'm having a hard time right now getting like real pain medicine that I actually need. So a few times a week I get pretty chronic, and I can't get a hold of the medication. So
Okay, it's Kandari TV. It's at its STEM. Yes, you can claim your son as an independent and you can get SSI as a supplement as well. This is explained on the SS website.
Yep. It's
Yep.
yeah. You claim him as a son.
Yeah,
He's a
just what
dependent,
you
then
said.
you would
Yeah.
get a check just like you would your own children. So I'm looking for that for you now to send you that link to your.
Well, it's
Okay.
kind of interesting. We before the pandemic, we had retirees or other people who were eligible would come from the Philippines. They come to Guam for 2, 3 days, get their checkup, they get their meds because living overseas, like even by me living here, they always give me a 90-day supply of medication, where I don't have to refill. So imagine if you live in the Philippines, you probably get yourself a 6 month supply. And they'll tell you how to enroll to continue to receive that medication through some type of online pharmacy or something like
You
that.
can.
So a lot of guys are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That way you
that's
can
a
always make
that's
sure
a
you get the
good
same
idea.
medication.
If they can travel, because that's still a couple hours flight one way. They'd have to get a hotel. So you'd have to make sure you do have
Yeah.
that, you have to think
Yeah.
about the in-between stuff that you have, the
Yeah.
resources and savings, especially with those
Yeah.
medical conditions, to be able to make
Yeah.
that, get the 6 months and have the time and then return and
Yeah, you're right. Because my advice would be, if you really got a serious medical condition, Philippines may not be the place that you may want to go to. Especially if you
it
have the type of
it's
condition they
part
can't
of
really help you
ours,
with.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially when people are in wheelchairs or something,
yeah,
we just say absolutely. The answer is no, unless you plan to go to a specific condominium that's set up for that, and you're not
yeah.
going really far.
Right.
Then it would, do they have areas? Yes, but there's been a couple professional travelers that have done it, and it's like on the top 5 places not to go to in the world. They just don't have the streets, roads, or anything
No,
else.
no, they don't. Yeah.
Okay, Pumpkin Joe's. No, 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 joke. I'm saying I get enough from YouTube to take my wife to the Finnish Carinderia. I was fortunate enough to make
So
a good amount of money before
it's
coming here,
unfortunate, but
but not a lifetime's worth.
if you have signed up for AdSense, then you have to sign up to pay taxes. Unfortunately, that's the thing. If they send you that 1099, or you're starting to pay, which I know there's like a threshold, but if you're still making even a penny, the Philippines wants you to register. I hate to say it, it's a way they're going to make some money. It really is. Like George got a couple hundred here. They had you do different things that actually cost money, and it was like you had to go to a bunch of places. But I think it's a way, and then we have to pay a yearly fee on top of that. So every year you have to keep renewing the DTI certificates and all that, and so it's just a way they also make money, but you still have to file.
She gets the finest lumpia.
La, yeah, I saw it, Sir George, and it was very delicious, I think.
Shanghai, Shanghai lumpia.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
right.
Yeah,
Shanghai lumpia.
I already spent your tax money.
True
Okay,
story.
and Perry, okay, what about the people who are not on SSI or SSDI? What option for medical insurance are there over in the Philippines, and which is the best for a person who is private pay?
Well, private pay, I mean, basically there is a few options. If you're coming here, I don't know if it's going to be short term or long term. For a while, they could get the expat insurance, but depending on your age and medical conditions, we had checked into that. That's become astronomical. If you're just visiting, sometimes they have travel insurance. They do have permanent insurance companies here in the Philippines. I would go onto Facebook and check out Michael Onstad. He knows like hundreds of insurance companies here and some of the best, but be aware, even the top insurance companies, the top 5, you will be paying up front. It's rare that they just take your insurance and even the travel or the short-term insurance, and they just say, "Oh, thank you." It's not going to happen. I think like here at Clark Medical, there's a bunch they do just outright take without upfront payment. But it's the same with St. Luke's. They also are one of those that are like American based, like that they actually just take the insurance, but depends on the insurance whether they're going to have you pay up front or not, even at those
Yeah.
hospitals.
Yeah.
Yep, cash is king here. So I would check out. His name is Michael Onstad, just like it sounds, Onstad on Facebook. And his name, he's like the only one, and then he's got his site in there, and just message him. He'll find you an insurance company, but
Okay.
it'll be hundreds of dollars. Self-pay is okay because medical's cheap here unless you hit like a heart surgery. You're probably talking about 25,000 or more. That's a start if it's something simple. In the U.S., that'd be 250,000 U.S. But you could go to St. Luke's and get like I think they call it a single bypass on the, type of surgeries, and that was their going rate was 10, 15, 20,000. But if you go into something super complicated, need a bunch more specialists, and depends on how long they have you there and the recovery, it could 30, 40,000 versus 400,000. So we're aware of the prices. So
Okay, it's Tim. Okay, thanks. Please
I'm
do
working on
send
that now.
link.
Yeah,
Thanks again.
digging around there. Here it is.
It's kind of interesting. A lot of the insurance companies was actually sending a lot of patients to the Philippines, where they got the Makati or St. Luke's, supposed to be the best heart center, out in Asia. And it was a lot cheaper to have it done there than it was to get it done here, or send them to Queens, back in the States or something. And usually the insurance pay for everything,
Ah,
Okay, Ed Roach, I'm coming with a 90-day supply of mix for me, but I'm more concerned about the wife meds since she's an Americanized Pinoy with a U.S. passport. Where should I check for her meds?
depends on where he's going.
Well, where's the part that's kind of interesting? If you go in there to the Philippines, you guys are going there for a visit. Your wife can get additional medication to cover the time of your trip while you're there.
Right.
Because like when I went to the States this last time, uh, my medication was due for a refill, and I'm told I was going to be gone for 2-3 months. And that's when they gave me 3 months of medication right up front. I could have went to any military facility because I was on a base there and gotten it, but it was nice to be able to get it from here. And my suggestion is, if you're going to be going to Philippines for any length of time, try to get you enough medication to last you, and your doctor will write you a script for it.
And then if not, check with whatever area you're going to. Again, they have Watson's. What is the other pharmacy storage name of?
TGP, Mercury Drug.
TGP, Mercury Drugs. And these
Rose
are the
Pharmacy.
common ones, but it's not going to be like finding a CVS or
Yeah.
a Walgreen on every corner. I mean, we really got used to, I was so super spoiled in the US where everything, within a half a block, I had all those choices and stuff. Here, it's kind of a, like shooting fish in a barrel situation. It's
You got to go around the different,
you
like
may
George
have
said,
to go
different
to
places just to find those meds that you need.
Right, because I even looked up about like having them actually shipped in, and you definitely would have to. If you do, you're definitely going to have your scripts ready, and more than likely, you're not like, let's say you're coming here long term and you've been here 90 days, you're not going to be able to use an old 90-day script. So you'd have to start all over again and see a doctor here and get all those scripts all over again. And remember, medicine is different here. I mean, I get that they're specialists, but they may not recommend the same medicine. And you may have to kind of, wait a minute, I've been taking this med for this amount of years. Oh, you really don't need that. And you really have to know your medical condition and be firm about what you've been on, or they may try to switch you up. So,
right. And some of the meds don't exist here, period.
Yeah, that's another thing. His mom has medical conditions where she would not be able to stay here. So that is a major issue. And his brother's a doctor, by the way. So he's already reconfirmed some medical conditions you just cannot cover.
Kikal Vedman, custom will need verification from your doctor, then you can send them FeedX.
Oh, and talking about shipping,
This is when
meds.
verification from your doctors. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a possibility. I just heard they cannot. So,
Well, it's always best to do your homework before you even think about going to the Philippines long term to find out what you can and can't get. And if you get medications, shipped over, because it'd be something you get there and you're a type 1 diabetic, but you can't get the insulin.
Right, right. And when she said that, I went directly
Yeah.
to the government website and it said
Yeah.
this, and that cannot
Right.
be shipped. Now, whether you go to FedEx and then FedEx says, yes, we'll accept the medications with a doctor's note, you will get conflicting stuff on the internet. We've already run into that where
Right.
you'll see that on the embassy. You're going to see that on the Philippines website. And then FedEx will say, hey, just get that. And I'm like, but didn't the Philippine government just say no? So you will run into, that's why we always say do your due diligence and check out down to the last moment. You may find something different. So, yeah.
Okay,
So,
so no more. There is another one. Okay,
I see. What's his
Clouded
name
Man.
about Ohio? Did
It
she
was
skip on the
X.
Ohio Cleveland thing, or did I miss that?
Oh, OG Fred's from Ohio.
Yeah,
yes.
somebody was mentioning, that we're, I'm from Ohio too, so we just have
Where?
Buckeyes in the house today.
That's right. We're
Yep.
from Ohio.
Columbus.
Oh, I'm from Youngstown.
Columbus.
I was stationed in Columbus.
Ah, yeah, Cleveland Avenue. I lived in
Yeah.
Carriage House Apartments till I was 15. Born. Well, I wasn't born there. I was born.
Yeah.
My mom had a house, but when I was 3, they moved there. So, right there. Yep, went to Mifflin High, everything. So, yep, Buckeye, and then my
That's
dad,
right.
my mom thought it was a punishment. And she said, she goes, you're giving me mouth all the time, and if you even use one small cuss word in front of her, you'd have got it. So, we were raised in one of those respectful families. But she's like, you know what,
Yeah.
just go live with your father. And I'm like, she goes, I just can't take you. And it was supposed to be a punishment. I was like, okay. So I ran off to Florida. I got tired of it being cold. And so it was a different life.
Yeah.
And so I lived with my dad, my stepmom, and just kind of went from there and lived there for so long. But no, went back to Ohio a few times, just too cold. And we thought about retiring there. Like, let's just take everything and try to go to Ohio where it's cheaper than Florida. And I have a half sister that lives there, stepsister that lives there. And I was like, just couldn't take the cold. It's just.
I mean, the winters are really harsh back there now because, I left home when I was 19. I went in the military and all that. I would just go back for visits. And I was back there for a couple of winters. I said, well, I was never going to stay in the States anyway. I already knew that. I like it on Guam. The weather's nice all year round. Got rain, gets a little cool, but no snow. Okay.
Yeah, I can't. I complain about the heat here a lot. And It is a different type of heat. It's starting to cool down. Where now I just use a dehumidifier, like here in the room for an hour or two when I'm watching TV. But it's cooling down. But like last year, even at this time, I think I complained clear up to like December, where I was like, man, it's hot. Man, it's hot. I would stand in the kitchen, and I'm used to central air, and I was just dripping, Fred, like head to toe, like everything. My shirt was sticking to my back, and I'm like, oh my God, you didn't say it was this hot. And George was like, yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
And it's like, I didn't listen.
Yeah,
Well,
I
what it
told
is,
her
you
109 degrees is normal.
But you get climatized, you get used to it. When I go to the States, I'm cold. Even in the summertime, it's cold. Okay.
I
Because I'm
told
so
George
used to
the
being
other
out here.
day. So I am starting to, it's just the humidity more than last year has been a little significantly higher. You know how the United States is super hot right now.
Yep.
So there
Yes, it
was
is.
something different about this year, but George admits, like the first 2 months I lived in this bedroom, and I complained about the AC unit, and I'm like, oh my God, it's hot. So I'm getting used to it now. So
Okay. Thank you. I would like to say thank you to Ed Roach.
that's so sweet, guys.
Okay, so I think that's all, everyone, and I think we answer all your questions,
Yeah.
and I hope it will help you. And I would like to say thank you, thank you. I will not stop saying thank you to all people who helped me. My couple idol and my second parents. You can adapt me, mom.
She can join the rank of the cast.
Yes, yes. And then I would like to
That's gonna
say
be funny.
thank
We
you
should get
to
her a
mom
stocking. We'll get you a
Heidi
stocking,
and
Karen.
I would like to say thank you to Mom Heidi and Sir George, the Philippine Antique Channel, and Sir Fred. And you can adapt also, Sir Fred. I am happy that I have three parents now. I have three father, I have three mother. So, Sir Fred, thank you so much. And Sir Calvin, Sunshine Shoulders, thank you so much for all your support. And the Campbell's channel, David and Rose, hi. Thank you for all my subscriber, because without your help, my
Harry was
YouTube
there.
channel will
Hi,
not
Harry.
be success. Yeah, thank you again. And thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I am assure you 100% that I will not change. I will still be the same, simple, and I will do my best to help to foreign people not to be in a bad woman. And if ever I will be a blessed to earn more, I would like to share to homeless children or to homeless adults who are live, I mean, they are staying in the street. I would like to help them, because that is my one rule, my one goal of my life, because I feel happy when I help other people, even it's in a little way, or even it's another way. Even if there is somebody ask me, Sharon, could you could you take care of me in the hospital? It's okay, I will take care of you in the hospital. I will care of you. No payment is good. Yeah, because I really would like to help. So thank you, everybody. And Mom Heidi and Sir George, thank you. Sir Fred, thank you so much for the time that you spent. I really appreciate it. So thank you, everyone. And God bless everybody. And God bless everyone.
Thank you, Sharon. Congratulations.
And Sir
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Fred, I will, Angela City is my second trip soon.
Well, let me know and I'll help you. Don't
Okay.
worry. Because I know Heidi and George will be happy to see you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll be
We're
there
here for
soon,
you.
guys. I'm gonna make sure I see you when I'm there. So I'll get your information off your channel, and I'll shoot
Okay.
you a text or
Yep.
something. So
We have
I'm
we have
glad
Thank
your
you,
I'm
we
glad I
have
Tuesday.
met
your
you guys.
email.
You
We
got my
have your
email?
email now. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So I'm happy to have met you guys, but it's gonna be nice to see you in person and steak. Hey,
Yes.
I got to take care of my
George.
fellow Ohioan. We're from
Yes.
Ohio. We Buckeyes
Buckeye.
stick together.
Yep. Go Buckeyes.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank
God
you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you
bless.
so
See ya.
Okay.
much.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
God bless.
Bye.
Just leaves it there.